all over.
Lily GoPro cam. Nice, nice.
That's what everyone wants, is to put a GoPro.
It's a fun idea.
Didn't you say you just went live, Arv? What the
Have you
hell?
seen the
It takes a little second.
Take a second,
There's
yeah.
a delay. Usually it's about 30 seconds after you hit start streaming before it shows up.
Slacker.
And I am hearing the echo again.
I'm actually gonna see what this looks like.
Oh,
See,
God.
it's not me now.
Here we go. Oh,
That
snap
one,
video.
Because I have the stream unmuted on my desktop, and I forgot I even had that page open. That's my bad. I'm gonna go ahead and just close out of that right now. There we go.
All right.
It's stretched, or is that my? Have you got the
Pictures bit stretched?
your
Yes.
layout? It looks very stretched.
Yeah.
What looks very stretched? What do you mean?
All of us.
Like
Yeah.
the aspect ratio. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys do
I
look.
know them stretch faces.
Yeah, you guys do look stretched. That's because, yeah, things.
Because of stuff.
Because of stuff. All of us are stretched until we adjust somewhat. Gentleman is going to be able to make adjustments in this. Hello, everyone. Gentleman's going to be able to, who's the one who made this layout, will be able to adjust accordingly. So. See, look at Massive Death. Massive Death is like Sod. You look. look at Massive Death is like Sod. You look crazy. See, that's the real thing. Sod, you sexy mofo. They're not saying anything. They're all giving you Craigasm after Craigasm. What are you talking about? It's just an array of Craigasms.
Reveal.
Who cares what Nintendo is up to? Yeah.
Quick, turn it to the cat. No.
There we go.
What's up, Ramir? Hello, Spanky.
Say hello,
Oh,
everyone.
wow.
This is my face.
Hello, face.
I have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And I have hair, but it's very, very little.
Okay, I have to admit, Arv, this is a pretty cool backdrop.
I look like
He's like, I
Sterling.
swear it's in
Right,
there.
yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
It's in there.
Wow.
I guess if I had sunnies, I could probably look a little bit like him, but I don't have sunnies.
Yes, no matter what, I will see his Australian voice and see no face.
Yes. just put it, get a post-it note and just block out the sections of my face.
Do you guys see the note down below? The Pride of Australia Sod that's scrolling across
Yeah.
my screen. Cujo, what's up? What's up, Draconian?
I will forever picture you as like a cat sitting on a computer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Be careful, I'm going to make him go back and do that, so...
All right, so welcome everybody. Hello everyone. Welcome to Arvin Eleron. I am your humble host. I am the DM, and I have with me the Infinity and Beyond crew. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go step by step. They are about to play the game you see, Ghosts of Dragonspear Castle, which will be an epic adventure that will be more epic than epic. And to prove all that epic, you will see how epic it is as we go through it. But I'm going to start by having us do a little bit of a sound off here before we get into the adventure. I want to welcome everybody in there. Should you just close Sod's book next cast, gentlemen? No. I expected more kangaroo. That is what we needed. My name is Arv. I am your humble DM, and I will send it over to the real stars of the adventure. This is the Infinity and Beyond Crew Plus. So I will start up on the top right, almost most bearded, with almost most bearded on the top right as you're looking, and that is Inaminatus. And Inam, could you explain who you are and who your character is?
Yeah, I'm Nominatus, fellow caster on Dredge. My character is Soliel Rain. He's going to be a human mage.
A human mage. Excellent. Also, I have a feeling your picture
I also
is...
like how I'm frozen in time.
Yep. Oh, there you are. I got you. That was my fault. I got you. There you are. Okay, Inam is there. All right, moving right along. Directly...
I cannot hold a pose that long, guys.
He's like, it was amazing. Okay, directly south of him is our good friend Optic Nerve Productions and Optic. Could you explain who you are?
I am Optic Nerve. I'll be playing Elven Mage. I don't know what else you want.
Your name. The Elven Mage's
the
name.
of the character
Yeah, how
is
do you pronounce that?
Degenie Verglass.
Degenie Verglas. Yes.
All right.
Degenie Verglas, yes.
You're still magic already here.
And Lego, you're still a mod to me. I see your sword. Okay, south of him is some guy in front of a green screen. I know you guys have never seen this person before. But I think his name is like Fing Koom or Bing Bloom or King Foom. What's up, dude? Who are you?
I'm King Foom. I just started this Twitch thing a couple days ago. I am gonna be playing a human cleric that loves chatting with animals and secretly wishes he was a druid named. Oh, wait for it. It's clever.
Dr. Doolittle.
Fing-
No, sorry.
Fing Muficus.
Fing Muficus. Fing Muficus,
I'm
ladies and
clever with the
gentlemen.
names.
Fing Muficus. Okay. Moving directly on your screen to your left on the screen is we have my beard. We pass through my beard to the less bearded, but still slight
Yeah.
beard. John Helfers.
coming
John.
back.
John. Who the hell are you? What's your what's your character name?
I am not a streamer, so I'm the only one who doesn't, but I'm playing a halfling rogue. I notice we do not have a fighter in this group yet, which is going to be very interesting, named Cade Marmadas.
Cade Marmadas.
We are
And,
the ending in S group, I think.
I think Lanix may have just popped in, which is why.
Someone just said, "Hey, Olanix," yeah.
Which is
I'm
why my-
actually here. Yes.
Oh, there he is. And we were getting some speaker problems with Lanix, so we'll try to get Lanix back in a second. Okay.
When did I turn into a dog? When you joined the call, you sick bastard.
Exactly.
Wait, what? Yeah, what happened? Oh, hi there.
They're
Whoa,
hearing
I'm getting some
crackling.
crackling.
What is that?
Crackling.
It's not me this time.
Ah.
Damn.
Ow. I think that's coming from Inom. Can you try
Yeah, it's Inom. Wow, it sounds pretty retro.
Yeah,
No, it's still there. That who is that? All these. What is that? Check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2.
check one. Check. Hello. Check.
Hello?
All right.
All right.
No.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So we'll try to bring Inom back in. Skype is having a heart attack and Inom has become a dog. Inom has become Shinobi. No. Why are we losing all our people? That's going to screw up. Actually, it'll only screw up Inom, so that's fine. I'm going to get him back right now. Okay. Inom is a cat for a moment.
What is that? Ah, that sound.
That's
What
the
is it?
that's the dice rolling sound.
Stop rolling.
Sorry. Sorry,
Wait,
that was
who's
me.
rolling?
That
I
was-
don't,
I
I don't
was.
see the dice.
It
Oh
should be
yeah,
not-
the dice on screen though. Okay,
Whoa.
okay.
Okay, I hear Inom.
Is it dice rolling?
Hello?
sound?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
I-
good.
A little bloop. It sounds like
What the
a
hell
water
is
drop
that?
kind of.
I don't know. That was weird. You wanna
Was.
re-enable your video?
Oh yeah.
I think he took the blue pill.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Lanix? Give me a second. I'll get you in.
Hello?
Lanix is
Lennox, can you hear me? Lennox, hello.
No,
Oh,
he can't hear you.
Lennox,
How
what's
about
up,
your
Lennox?
Skype muted.
Okay, so I can be heard.
Okay. Yes. Give me a second, Lennox. I'm gonna send you a link to the Roll20 that you need to get an account with. I mean, it's free. It just takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of echo again. God, fluff it.
We're gonna need to set these up like the
Oh,
day
that
before.
echoes. That was pretty much unmuting Skype. So
Yeah,
you can talk to Lanix. So don't
I think
worry.
tomorrow
I gotcha.
I'll be a little late to the party as well because of work.
Okay. I just put the link in now into
There
chat.
it is. I see.
All right. So go ahead and head over there, and then when he comes up, then I will need to, of course, reorient everything because, of course. But that's okay.
Because I'm amazing and I break everything.
No, if only it were only you breaking things. It was not
Oh,
one
okay,
person.
Arv, you sound kind of cool. Now you sound kind of like a twinned version of yourself.
That's because I'm not muted in
He
Skype.
is the dungeon master.
All right, I'm now I'm muting myself in Skype now. Okay. All right, so there we should
I'm
be.
sure those show up, Cairo. I know John and Sod and myself.
I apparently
Okay.
made an
Somewhere.
account at one point.
So guys, bear with me for a second. We're just getting Lennox in here. For those of you who are wondering what's going on with him, Series Runner cannot make these first 2 sessions. So what's going to happen is we are
The
going
best
to
part is I'm
have
still in my work clothes.
we have the 5 of us.
That's the
We
best
have
part of this.
wait a second.
I do not
And he can't hear me
change.
because he's not in Skype. Lennox, be quiet for a second. Okay. So we have all of us that are here. The 5 core people, which is Anominatus, Optic Nerve, Foom, myself, and John and Sod. And speaking of Sod, let me have him introduce himself before I bring in Lennox. So
No,
all the way to the
no,
top left with the least beard.
Don't worry. I shaved it not yesterday, day before, and I will grow it while the sessions are going. So you'll slowly see an epic.
It's like a
warrior
time lapse
beard.
for the campaign.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, I'm Sod. You know me as Sod _ on Twitch. And I'm playing a dwarf fighter named Domdor Grumblehammer.
We
Domdor
have a
Grumblehammer.
fighter, thank goodness.
Yes, and
Okay.
as we've said, Sod represents all of the internet
And
on the
yes,
southern
because I'm
hemisphere.
the Australian here, I represent the entire southern hemisphere.
Wow.
This is
All right.
proof that people actually live down there.
You could be listen, man. You could be in the same place where they faked the moon landing. Like, there's no, you know, you could be a
Now, you
studio
can
in Burbank.
claim you're in Australia. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I have to get like a wireless cam and just walk over to the Opera House and show you?
Exactly.
There you
Okay,
go.
hold on a second while I talk to Lennox. Lennox, have you made your account yet?
Apparently, I already had one, so all I had to do was recover my password.
Oh, cool. All right, and you saw the link, right? In
Link?
Skype
Are you talking about for the
Roll
Oh,
20.
I see. The
Because
one
if you
I
go
saw
to there,
link?
it'll pop you into there, and then I'm going to need to readjust the windows. I'm going to need to adjust the camera windows. By the way, this layout you folks are seeing is courtesy of my wonderful moderator, Gentleman. So you guys can all thank the gentleman. He's going to make tweaks to this based upon things that happened tonight. And, for example, so we can avoid the stretchy face. So he's going to make certain tweaks and adjustments to the backdrop. But this is his handiwork. I think it's pretty awesome. So, yeah. And we will get started as soon as Lennox gets in, and I see him there now. He's going to enable his video and voice in just a minute, and then I'm going to add him in. He will be in Series Runner's spot. Now, there are, at the moment, 3 people who are geared up for this. Lennox is going to begin. He will do the first couple sessions. Then the second person up is probably going to be Pokedude of, well, Pokedude fame. And then the third person is going to be Giltonum of Giltonum fame. So those folks are going to be rotating with Series Runner. So we have like a player to be determined later is basically the series spot. That's the way it works. So the resolution, no, I don't. It might be that a gentleman, but it's also more that like I'm basically capturing square pictures and then I'm having to put them in a rectangular space. So I think if the books were taller and narrower, it would solve most of that problem, basically. So in the meantime, we're dealing with stretchy face, but that's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to fill it all the way in the book, do you? You just
Well, I mean, I could cover it over, but I think this way it's awesome because it's like you're opening up to their world. You know what I'm saying?
fair enough.
All right, I see Lennox. Something's popping up. I see a
I don't
mic.
have a webcam. I will note.
What?
I don't have a webcam.
God damn it! I said webcam.
I don't have a webcam.
All right, actually that's fine
What?
because it means it means I won't have to. All right, I'm gonna come up with an icon for you then.
Yeah, I apologize. It's one of those things I just
DM's
never got
choice
around
of
to
an
getting.
icon.
And nobody told me webcam.
It's the 21st century. How do you not have a webcam?
I don't have a webcam. You know, I mean, I've got a 750 Ti, but
when-
who needs a webcam?
Dude, hold on. When the Mac user is giving you shit about not being up to date with your technology, you officially lose as a geek. It's over. It is over. You're done.
Oh man.
I mean, but it's all right, Lennox, because it's not like you have any experience broadcasting over the internet. Oh, wait a minute. All right, I got a perfect one. I got a perfect one for you. Let's see.
Is it a cat face?
Arv, don't make me bring up my radio experience on you. Okay.
The radio experience. The radio experience. Okay. Let me see. Let me pop that up here. Okay, this is going to be an image. This is going to be, let's see, Lennox. And let's see, browse. And let's find the thing that I did. There it is.
I think we should just leave me up as Shinobi for the entire night. I think this works.
There it is.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not
Meanwhile,
rumors.
Sob's sitting here
Here we
like,
go.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to update.
I got up at 5 a.m. for this.
I know. There we go. There you go, Lennox. That's from me to you.
Are you supposed to check?
Hey, okay, touche.
Yes. Yes.
Why you don't show me webcam? Okay. All right. So now, Lennox, I imagine you will be able to come up with a. Did I send you? Did you get sent the stuff or not? The
I sent
You
it to
player sheet?
yeah. The player character. But you sent in the packet too, right? So.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Okay. So you are going to be now, Lennox. I'm sorry about this part because we have picked everybody else. You are the human fighter. However, because you are the first person to be here, you do get to choose the name of the human fighter. So, what would you like as your name?
Why would you give me the worst job out of all of that? I can never think of names.
Dude, there's like name choosers on the internet for that. Just go find one and whip one up real quick.
Monkey says the name looks just like you.
That's pretty damn funny.
Well, I mean, this is proven. This is proven.
Well,
what I
that's the
look
thing,
like.
Lennox. You got a Facebook. Throw up a picture of yourself. Man, what the hell?
Yeah, come on, man.
Dude, give me a name. Give me a name
Don't take
first.
this from Arv.
Give me a name first.
Arv.
I can't think of a name, man. Come on.
All right. Wait, no, I got one. Here you go. Your name is
Jen Eric Warrior.
No. It's much better than that. Jen Eric Warrior. That's pretty good. But it's actually.
Why not just Silver Lanix?
I got this.
I got it. No, I got it.
Exactly.
Your name is Zynal Reviz.
Oh my god.
And I think you can
You know
figure
what's
out why.
Gesundheit.
I've used
what?
Zynal before. That's the worst part. Legitimately used that name as like just some off character.
No, I got that wrong. It's Zynal Revlis.
Revless.
Zynal Revlis, because
Revless actually sounds legit.
if you reverse that, it comes out to Silver Lennox. So your name is now Zynal Revlis.
You know, that's fine because everybody.
I like Cairo's suggestion of Hugh Janus.
Tempting. Very tempting, Cairo. Very tempting.
Or you can flip it around and it sounds good, like Janice Hugh.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, and I made 700 in sales today, so I don't even care.
Yeah, nice, dude.
Good for you.
Zynal Revlis. Okay, so everyone,
And
I want
yet
to
you
welcome.
still couldn't afford a webcam.
I know, right?
I don't even want to talk about it.
All right, so we want to welcome everybody. We are playing D&D Next today, and D&D Next is the next edition, as you might expect, of Dungeons & Dragons. It's actually not officially being released until Gen Con this year. This is a conference or convention exclusive that I got at last year's Gen Con, so the rules are going to be a little bit, slightly out of date from even the latest beta, if any of you were doing the beta and stuff like that. But we are looking forward to fun times. Hey, Hillness, what's up? And and this is a lot of theater of the mind stuff. So if you are expecting incredible high res graphics and things like that, that's not going to occur. Although I am going to pop up a little bit of music for everybody. Let's see, and I think I'm going to go with the.
You're still on Skype too, right? Because I'm getting crazy echo.
Am I? I don't think I am. Maybe I am. Let me check and see if I am.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I'm now muted. My bad.
Beautiful. Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to pop up, I think, the Chrono Cross soundtrack because it's one of my favorites, and it's fairly long. So
Marv, I love you to death, but not having two of you is the best thing ever.
you guys should tell me. You guys should tell me before. I didn't realize that was happening.
Actually, I was enjoying it after being
I
able to
actually
hear you
muted
better.
you in
so-
roll 20.
Oh,
So I
okay.
didn't hear.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Ghosts of Dragonspear Castle. I think we are all good to go. Inam is still in the process of making his, although for some reason... Oh, that's right. I have to... Wait. I have to recapture Inam so that he's not just Shinobi for the whole night. Though, I mean, I understand lots of people would like to be Shinobi, and I appreciate
Question for you
that.
guys real fast. Initiative. I can't find it in the book. What would... Is that just...
It's just
Your straight up
Your
dex?
dex mod.
It's
modifier.
D20 plus
It's
the
a
Ag
few
Dex is what it is.
factors, if I remember correctly, but this could be different. But dexterity and a few other factors like any kind of perks you have.
Right, if
And
there's
I
a
wanna
specific
say-
bonuses
Well, it's a
and things with
D20
that.
roll.
But it's a D20 roll plus that, yeah.
It'd
Well,
be
yeah,
like-
I know. I meant my modifier in...
Yeah,
on
D20
this
plus,
list.
whatever.
Right
Pretty
now,
much
it'll
your
only-
dex
it'll
is
only
the
be your
default.
dex.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. If you have any perks that could help with it, then that, but I think that's it.
Okay. All right, there we go. Inam is back. So now I've got everybody here. So we are good to go. So I think we are ready. I think the only question, gentlemen, that we really need to
I
ask
didn't even
is...
have like enough time to make my character sheet or anything yet.
Yep, I know, but that's the benefit of Theater of the Mind. You're going to be doing that along with Inam while we're going. Just hope you don't get into combat. But we're going to get underway. Thank everyone for being here, by the way, in chat. And definitely thanks to all these guys for doing this as well. I think this is going to be fun. Only thing I would ask from everybody, that as we're having a good
I
time
don't
here...
hear Arv anymore. Am I the only one?
Can you hear me?
No, I can hear him.
I don't hear Arv.
In
Are
roll
you not
20?
in the roll 20?
He is in roll 20, but I don't know
I
if
am
you...
in the roll 20.
Why? Oh god damn it! Why wouldn't you be able to hear him then? 'Cause He muted Skype because he's talking.
Echo.
Highlight Arv's webcam thing, and then in the top right there should be a little speaker.
My
Make
picture.
sure that's not muted. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, on roll 20 he's talking about like hover over his webcam and then there should be like a little speaker on the top right.
I'm actually getting unable to connect due to network error. Hold on, I'm refreshing it.
Oh, lovely. Of course you are.
That's
Fortunately, I don't have to
probably
redo the
what
pictures because I have you have webcam while you know show me.
Tech issue. Okay, now I see. It's starting to work now.
Okay. So can you see and hear me now? Maybe.
Where did I put my stapler?
Can you hear us?
The dwarf is Sod.
Maybe so.
Sod is the
That's me.
As
dwarf.
soon as I share my microphone, it
Dwarf.
stops.
This
working.
one's dwarf.
Hey,
No, he can't hear you, Arv.
he still can't hear me?
No, he cannot hear you.
But you guys all can. You guys can all hear me, yeah?
I can hear you. Yes.
I
Well-
can hear you. He can't.
Okay, I can hear him until I share my microphone, and then everything just craps out.
Well, actually,
Sorry, I
Well-
like miniatures. Damn it.
you know what you could do is you could not share your microphone because you're still in Skype, so we can all hear you in Skype.
That works. I just won't share my mic then. That's
Yeah,
fine.
and then you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Awesome, perfect, cool.
You're
All right.
apparently quieter than everybody else, but this works.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand
Yeah,
what that
me
is. It's
too.
for
That's
little
what I got.
people. Let me turn that up a little bit. I don't want to blow people away. Chat, is my sound okay? On my end, is it too loud, too quiet? I'd like to know from chat.
Son of a bitch.
Too loud, too quiet, too loud, too quiet.
You sound fine here.
Okay.
Sod, how do you post the character sheets in wherever it's
Okay,
supposed to be?
Chat, everything is fine. Chat can hear
So-
everybody.
You open up your Google Drive, the folder
Drive,
panes
yeah.
and all that. Yep,
Uh-huh.
you click on it and
Awesome.
go share.
Thanks, guys. Cool.
Then click on share,
Oh god, yeah. Share.
and then
Thank you.
Then it has
We'll get started in
who
1
can has
second.
access, and then you have the top one that should be like private, only you can access.
Well, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me hit that.
Click-
Hang on. Loading. Link to share. Okay, private only you can access. Okay, yeah. Yep. So change
Click
that.
change,
Okay.
and then go anyone with the link,
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Boom.
and
What
then
was
you
the
get a
name
link,
you
and you just
so wiggly chose for me there, Art?
It was.
And then just hit save.
It was
yes, and then you'll see the link up the top.
Zynal Revlis. It's literally your name backwards.
I see. Okay,
Zynal
well,
Revlis.
I know it has a link in view, so we're all good.
know
So
what's-
you also see it. Okay, that's good enough for me. I need to. Do I need to post that now?
Yeah, you just copy and paste that link. And
Zynal
put
Revlis.
it in chat for people.
Yeah, I got it. What's worse is it sounds actually legitimate.
Crap.
Well, yeah, man. I don't mess around.
It sounds like a legitimate name.
It sounds like a legitimate name. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, and thanks to everybody in chat. The only thing I want to mention is, as we're going through this, this is for some of us. Some of the people here have not played D&D for like 20 years. For those of us who have, I've been beta testing D&D Next, but it's still a very new system, and this is an older version of a new system rule, which isn't even officially released yet. So if you are a rules lawyer, please mute yourself now. That means I am not interested in dealing with rules lawyers. We are going to have fun and going with the flow, which I think is going to be much more fun for everybody. And I'm sure that you guys can do that because, as I've said many times, you are all the best viewers on Twitch. So this will be no problem. But I'm just letting everybody know.
And half the fun is just mixing it up anyway. If you follow rules straight on, it's just no fun.
Exactly. So, all right, cool. So, gentlemen, I just want to set the scene for you a little bit. This takes place in and around Daggerford.
Hey, Topkin.
And one thing that I want to mention about that is that one of you, and specifically the person that I'm thinking of here, is actually Domdor Grumblehammer, has family near Daggerford. So you actually have a cousin who's here. So you've actually visited Daggerford before. And I mention that because you're very familiar with the town. You know a lot about the people who hang out there and all that kind of stuff. And so I want to mention that because that's going to be something that will come up later on. Not all of you are new. The rest of you, however, have managed, trickled your way up and down the Sword Coast from various places and have made your way essentially to Daggerford. And you've done a few little minor adventures before this, actually working together. It's kind of like a pickup group in basketball. You know, first of all, you're like, hey, you want to go full court? And everyone's like, sure. And then you went up and you killed some kobolds and, you know, you did little minor stuff like that. And you've essentially established yourself as a crew. And one of you has come up with the idea, and I believe it was actually the person who came up with the idea was Dejini Verglis, who at one moment had this revelation and said, guys, we could call ourselves Infinity and Beyond. And you were all like, why would we do that? And you're like, I just feel like we should. And so you all agreed to it. And so your company name is Infinity and Beyond, or IAB for short. And so you made quite a name for yourself. But you've noticed that over the last month or so, roughly speaking, although you were planning on gradually building your wealth and making a name for yourself, you notice that there has been something different in the air. You can't really put your finger on what, except to say that you have been somewhat uncomfortable. The atmosphere seems strange. People look suspiciously at each other, and there just seems to be a general sense of unease and discomfort in the air. And you're looking forward to a celebration in midsummer, because midsummer is always, as Domdor knows, midsummer is the time. If you want to be like in a place, you want to be in Daggerford in midsummer. Like there's awesome festivals, like it's just, it's attractive, people for days, whatever you want, men, women, orcs, dwarves, yeah, whatever you like. It's a great time, right?
I got laid. I got my first human prostitute.
Right.
So
right.
It was a good session, I'd have to
Good
say.
times.
Right,
Good
right.
times.
It was in the Bearded Lady, which is in one corner of the town. So it was good. It was good times. And Cade Marmados is an expert dagger thrower. So he actually was going over and he was like winning those big stuffed animals by throwing the daggers. And they actually kicked him out because he had won too many in a row and stuff like that. So this is a good time. And the problem that you have now is that every time Midsummer happens, the population of Daggerford swells because people partake in this annual festival of games with merchants hawking their wares and all that kind of stuff. But this year, things are a little different, as I mentioned, because ill weather has dampened this year's festivities. Torrential rain falls from thick black clouds as wild coastal winds howl through the darkened streets. Guests pack the local inns and taverns hoping for some reprieve while keeping their spirits high with drinking games and music, but the storm has been relentless and there's no end in sight. And Fing Muficus, let me just say to you that one of the things you've noticed is that this weather does not feel natural. You're kind of you like the concept of druidy, even if you haven't been a druid, but you like the concept, so you like wandering around in the forest quite a bit, and the trees feel strange and the storm feels unnatural. The rain is too cold, it's too strong, you know what I mean? It just feels off to you. And again, that all seems to build this sense of foreboding that you have. And not surprisingly, this storm has given rise to lots of gossip about recent event in town. And the most notable event, which happened only a week ago, was the capture of a tattooed man believed to be a red wizard of Thay. Well, what would a red wizard be doing so far from home, you ask? And for those of you who don't know, the Red Wizards of Thay are a somewhat evil and highly mysterious and secretive group of wizards that do strange things for their own power and ends, but they meddle a lot in the business of others, and they're generally not good guys. So the question is, what would a red wizard be doing so far from home? Because Thay is not really close to Daggerford. Well, according to the local gossip mongers, he was magically disguised and working for Lord Flotian as a gardener of all things. That's right. The same Lord Flotian, whose estate was attacked and looted by orcs and half-orcs 2 weeks ago. They say the Red Wizard was behind it, and that's why he is doomed to hang after the festival. It's a good thing Lord Flotian wasn't home during the attack, because he could have been captured and taken away by the orcs. That's what happened to his servants, gods protect them. One can only imagine their horrible fate. And so you guys are basically sitting here in the tavern on the morning of the hanging. The hanging is going to occur in short order, and so that now allows me to leave it up to you guys. What do you want to do? You're all sitting in the tavern after a relatively good night's rest, still drizzling outside, and the hanging is going to happen soon.
So,
Always got time to see a good hanging.
yeah,
Especially for a red wizard.
I'm happy to just head over and check out the
Yeah,
hanging.
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna grab I'll grab my cousin as well. Go check him out. Go grab him. See
Okay.
if he's still check out the hanging as well.
And as you know him, his name is actually Bombor Mumbleaxe. So you take Bombor Mumbleaxe hangs out with you. He's a nice dwarf. He looks a little bit similar to you, Domdor, except he's a little shorter. And his beard is
I'm the tallest in the family.
Yeah, well that's and his axe is notched from this one time that he hit an orc but didn't quite cut his head off, and it just took a big chunk out of it. But he likes it as like a war wound, so it works with the ladies at the Bearded Lady. So
I was gonna mention that's another one of my traits that I'm gonna roll with. I may drink a little too much. Is there any way that I can grab a mead real quick?
absolutely, sure. I mean, the bartender
One for the
is actually right now he's sort of sleeping in a pile of his own drool behind the bar where he had a little bit too much. So it's pretty much unoccupied. If you want to just grab a mug and
Just grab one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Fing, make that 2.
Yes,
Yeah,
thing
two.
two. Okay, so two of
Yeah,
them.
it's, you know.
Okay, well, so Cade comes over to the bar and he tries to like,
Freeze.
like, so
Exactly.
he's
Hop
like,
up there. I'll grab one and hand it to him.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. So you guys are
Half
heading over to.
designed for halflings.
So you guys all heading over to see the hanging.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so you head over
Drinks
there.
in hand.
Drinks in hand. Yeah, it's a festive occasion for sure.
That's right.
The foul weather just will not let up. Wet banners flap in the cool morning wind as a grim, rain-drenched crowd gathers around the wooden gallows in the town. Town guards in dark cloaks scan the periphery. And as you look off to the side, you see a masked hangman who ascends the scaffold and waits. He nods to a slender, rain-soaked knight in bright armor who limps into the heart of the crowd, a greatsword slung over his back. Domdor, you already know this, and most of you, actually all of you at this point would know, that this person is, his name is Istaval. He is a great paladin who was injured in a fight against a dragon many years before. He wears a brace on his leg, in fact. Everyone
Who is this
respects
now?
him.
Where is he?
He's the one who's standing. So he is the one who's standing in armor. He's limped into the heart of the crowd with his great sword slung over his back. And even though, you know, he's clearly his best fighting years are behind him because of this injury, you've had some interactions with him. And of course, Domdor knows even from before this that everybody respects this guy. Like this is not just the town elder. Like this is the dude. You know what I mean? Like there is a duke and all that. And you'll talk about them later. But this guy is the one that people really pay attention to. So he stands like this beacon of light in the gloom and keeps a watchful eye on the proceedings. A few paces behind him stands a dour elf of noble bearing who's clad in a handsome gray cloak. The melees of the crowd turns to anger as the prisoner is hauled toward the gallows by a pair of cloaked guards. The bald wizard wears nothing but a loincloth, and most of his thin frame is covered with serpentine tattoos. His wrists and ankles are bound with rope, and his eyes and mouth have been sewn shut, a sight that doesn't sit too well with the armored knight. Now, if you guys want to make a... if you guys want, this will give you guys an opportunity to do this. Please make a wisdom check for me. What's that? I keep going in and out for you? Am I going in and out for anybody else? No?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's probably Skype
Skype.
doing the thing. Yeah, sorry.
I unfortunately can't
Or no.
anybody besides Arv right now.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a problem.
do you ever...
Yeah, I don't know why it's like it's only select people that it's deciding to load, and there's like one or two.
No. Don't do it in Roll20. Do it in Skype, man. Do it in Skype. Just turn on the volume in Skype for everybody.
Like I hear him very distantly, but I don't hear him.
I hear Arv, but anybody else that's not using Skype, I can't hear.
Right. No, everybody... Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, really? Oh, so you're not hearing
may-
anybody in Roll20 at all.
Right now, I can see.
It sounds to me. It sounds like Arv's 2 rooms away. I can't hear him at all.
Oh.
Click the cog and make sure that
whoever's character that is, he's refusing to load.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times as well. But that's not... I mean, that's not critical if you don't see him in Roll20, because you can... If you go to my stream, you should be able to see him on there. Lennox. So
Yeah,
you
but
can
if they're using that as a mic.
No. I'm
then-
saying no. I know you can't do that because of the delay, but I'm saying you should be. Oh, you're saying you can't hear. Oh.
Do you want me
Yeah, I
to
can't
reload?
hear it.
I can reload.
Is anyone
so
else
unless-
actually saying anything, or is it only you, Lennox? You and Arv?
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. I can hear you. Good.
I'll reload.
Wait, who'd you
see what
hear?
happens. Yeah.
I can hear Foom.
Okay. All right. So
who can Lanix see? Like, can he see and hear?
yeah. So Lennox, who can you see and hear? Just me? Can you see and hear
Right
anybody?
now, I managed to refresh, and the only person I can't see is Sod.
The only person you can't see is Sod. Try doing it a couple more times. That happened to me.
I've been doing it this whole time.
Really?
And I can't hear Arv because I just refreshed.
Yeah. Pause, everybody in chat. Sorry. We'll get this working. We're just getting Lennox in here. Well, I have you separately captured. I'm trying to think. The problem is, what we could
This time
do is
nobody loads.
we could mute our volumes we could all mute our volumes in Roll20, leave our video going, but we could mute our volumes in Roll20 and just pop it up in
Jeez.
Skype instead.
Just use audio, Skype audio. Yeah, we
Right.
can do that.
Skype audio. So you're not getting rid of your
Okay.
video, just your Skype audio, right? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
I can, as long as I have you loaded and everybody else is willing to just use Skype voice,
okay.
that'll work. Because you can hear everybody, right?
Yes.
Arv? Okay,
Yes,
so
I
I mean,
can hear everybody.
it's just I can't hear anybody else.
Okay,
talking,
so
and
I
it's
just
alright.
I just muted everybody, and so now I will pop up my Skype and I'll mute myself in Roll20. Okay, so now we should all have video. So now everyone can hear me, and everyone
Yeah.
can hear, and you can hear Lennox.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Everyone here, Optic, Foom,
Hello?
Optic,
Hello?
Foom. Yeah, okay. There's
hey,
Foom,
there.
Optic, Optic, and also Sod.
Yep.
Okay, Sod's here, so we're just waiting for Optic.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I just can't get it to load. I don't know why.
It's the first time we're doing this, man. We're dealing with issues today. It's all good.
Is that working?
Yep, gotcha. Cool,
So
awesome.
just now mute everyone in Roll20, right?
Correct,
Yep.
but not their video, obviously, just their
Yeah,
just
just
that
their
part of it.
mute.
Okay, on we go. So, where was I? Okay.
Wisdom check for.
Oh yes, thank you. So yes, I would like you guys to make a wisdom check, please, and you can add to this. What that is you're rolling a 20-sided die. You're going to add any bonus conferred on you by wisdom, which it should say on your character sheets. And if you happen to have, a lore skill, does anyone have
Yes,
lore?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
Plus
do.
10 lower bonus.
So I'm sorry. How much? What?
For
Did you
magic.
say plus
If
10?
it has
Bonus.
anything to
I
do
have
with
a plus 10
magical,
bonus
I have a
as
plus
well.
10.
That sounds good. So then roll 20, add your wisdom bonus, and if you have a lore bonus, you can add that too, and tell me
I
what
have
you
a
got.
law to culture, military, and stonework.
Yeah, mine are forbidden lore, political lore, or religious lore.
Mine
All
is
right.
magical, political, or religious.
Oh wait.
Same here.
Time to pop out then the. There's
We're gonna
that, and let me get rid of.
Forbidden lore. I like that.
There we go.
How many? Just
It's
one,
not forbidden lore. It would just be actually. I'll allow forbidden lore too. Actually,
Cultural would certainly count, right, Arv?
cultural lore would count too. Yep.
Excellent.
Political something. All right.
Okay, now go ahead and everyone make one roll at a time. You can actually all roll and just tell me what
Yep.
you get as you roll. And
Yeah, I
chat,
got
you
it.
should be able to see this popping up on the screen.
So I had plus 13.
Oh.
God damn. All right.
Yep.
I got a
I got
2. I'm completely stumped.
Okay. What else?
20.
Who
Nine
said
plus
26.
26?
6 plus 13. I got a 19. That's great.
Okay.
I got a 1.
Oh, I've already started with the one.
So the vast majority of you.
I got a
Do we
rock.
add the
So-
plus
so
So you got a
10?
12.
So
I
yes, you
essentially
add the
was
plus
thinking
10.
about this and then walked into a wall.
Yeah. So while cogitating the possibilities, actually, you actually see Solil Rain start to ascend the scaffold himself until you guys are like, no. You kind of back him away. You're like, no.
Dude,
So let's see. So we got. So I heard a 20 from who?
I got 20. I got 9 plus 11.
I got a 26.
I got a
Okay.
19.
You got 19. Okay. You remember? So you remember actually, Fing Muficus. You remember having heard something like this before, and you remember it had something to do with being worried about magic from people that were condemned. And for Cade Marmidus and for Domdor, both of you are actually able to remember that this is often done. The sewing of the eyes and the mouth is done to evil wizards because they're afraid that as they're brought up on the to be hung, they could actually use their eyes to charm the hangman, or they could use their voice to call down thunder or make their escape. So a common thing is to basically sew their eyes and mouth shut so that they cannot do this.
Still pretty creepy.
Still, it is definitely
Yes,
creepy.
you know, yeah.
So the Rolling Thunder.
I remind my cousin about that because he probably doesn't know.
Yeah, he actually was very confused, and he actually looked at you and is kind of like, why is this happening? And so what do you say? What was that you said?
Saying, I've heard rumors. I had this rumor once where a wizard his head was being chopped off, and he mumbled these little words, and then the guy who cut his head off, his
Oh.
axe turned to rabbits.
Well, if his mouth is sewn shut, how does he drink?
And there was a plague that time.
Oh, well, but how does he drink if his mouth is sewn shut? I don't. That seems.
They do it right. They do it right before they bring it out.
I'll explain it later.
Oh, all right, okay. So, the rolling thunder of the storm cannot drown the rest of the crowd. You hear shouts of, kill the wizard! Abound. One old woman cries out, filth for the maggots! You hear. A heavily guarded horse-drawn
What, the
carriage
crowd?
comes to a stop at the edge of the crowd, and through the carriage's rain-streaked window, you see the pale visage of Duke Maldwyn Daggerford, who is the ancestral ruler of Daggerford, as you all know, who watches the proceedings closely. As the noose tightens around the wizard's neck, the tattoos covering his body begin to writhe. The crowd gasps in horror at the sight, and all of a sudden the armored knight, Isteval, draws his greatsword, and it makes this sound, sting, and then this sun shoots through the clouds and the rain to touch just the tip of the sword. Moments later, the captain of the guard signals the hangman to pull the trapdoor lever. A short drop spells the wizard's demise. Lightning flashes, and you half expect the wizard to be gone, but there his body hangs, the serpentine tattoos no longer writhing. There's a moment of silence, and then a peasant shouts, "To the hells with him!" And everyone agrees, "To the hells!" Yeah! And everyone cheers, and they high-five each other, you know. The knight relaxes as the crowd begins to disperse.
I'm a little buzzed, so I take part in the high-fiving.
Yes, you do. You do that several times. You kind of miss one person and almost, but you know, but it's all good fun.
Face palm him.
Yeah. So the knight relaxes as the crowd begins to disperse. Suddenly, a rider on a black horse gallops into the square, surprising everyone. He seems drawn to Isteval. My lord, terrible news! Crom's Hold has been attacked by a black dragon."
Wow.
Which is obviously evil.
The minute that he makes that sound, so that sound
Hold on,
rings.
I've had some meat. Did somebody say black dragon?
that people next to you are like, yeah, they said black dragon. That's my black dragon. Yeah. So they all say black dragon, and as soon as you hear that sound, like there's an attack on Crom's Hold, everyone flips out in the square. Like everyone's going every which way. Cade, you get your mug of mead knocked out of your hand, spills to the ground, like you get almost knocked over. People are like scurrying here and there. And the window, to the carriage opens, and Duke Maldwin leans out as like, my people, all is well. Do not panic. All is well. And they're just like zooming past him. It's like that scene in Animal House with Kevin Bacon. They're paying no attention. They're just like running past him in all directions, you know, paying nothing at all. And but you notice that even as they do this, when they get close to Isteval, they just part around him, you know, like he was a rock in the river. Like they just don't.
I'm gonna do that one.
You don't mess with Isteval, who, by the way, has lowered his sword at this point, and he's got his sword, you know, the point embedded in the earth, just holding the hilt. Yeah, exactly, Freebird. Remain calm, all is well. And they're all like, you know, running around him. And Sir Isteval turns towards you, and he looks at you, and then he sees Domdor. In particular, and he looks at you
The
and
only
says,
ones who aren't running.
he says, Domdor,
Yeah, well,
Domdor,
Yes,
my friend,
yes,
come
yes.
hither. Now you know Isteval a little bit, Domdor. He's one of the guys who helped out, sort of set you guys up with the kobold stuff earlier on, and so he sort of looks at you and calls you over. So he waves at you.
yes, I head over.
Okay, and he looks down. He says, Domdor, puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm afraid I have need of you and your friends again. And then he looks at you, and there's a couple of whispers. Most people don't know you, but there's a couple of people, like a couple of young kids, who are like, "Hey, is that Infinity and Beyond? Oh, I don't know. Is that anybody? My friend says they're terrible. They're not anything. Oh, my friend says they killed some kobolds. No, my friend says they're wrong. Well, whatever. Shut up. And they're all like pushing each other. But most people don't seem to know who you are, but he certainly knows. And so he looks at you and he waves all of you towards
Yeah,
him.
I call everyone over. See,
Okay.
everyone group around.
Fing, meet at the dwarf.
I'm stumbling on over there.
Okay.
Damn it.
You stumble over there. What about the rest of you? What about Dijini and
I also
and
tell Bombor
and
to
Soldau.
head away a bit and just wait for us because we don't. This could be important information.
no problem. I'll guard this mug. And he goes over because
He's holding all your mugs.
yeah, he's holding all the mugs. It's like the hold my beer, watch this thing. So he's like, you know, he's holding all this, right? So he walks over, and Isteval looks at you and he nods. He says, "Welcome, Infinity and Beyond. I have need of you." One of the things that you've always noticed about Isteval and his presence is that you always feel a little bit both intimidated but also strangely comfortable around him. I mean, he's this guy that you always feel like there's never any dirt on anywhere on him ever. You know, it just seems like it just falls off him. And even though he obviously limps, he's got that brace, as I said. He always seems to just radiate this kind of strength around him. And so he looks at all of you and nods, and then he turns back and says, he turns back and nods at the Duke, and the Duke sort of, you know, lowers the window a little bit and leans out farther. And Isteval says, Crom's Hold is well defended, but a dragon might be too great a threat even for Baroness Wynne. If you have no other business to attend to, and he looks back at you, Infinity and Beyond, we could use some additional reinforcement. Duke Maldwin casts a wary gaze upon the stormy sky, and then he turns back to Isteval. The bulk of our militia will remain here in case the dragon attacks. Of course, your grace, the knight replies. That would be wise. 30 stalwart men and horses should suffice. And Maldwin sort of nods and waves, and then he, rolls. He basically lifts the window, and then he does this, knocks, drive on! And, the cart, basically the horse carriage drives off, and Istival is left to speak to you. And Istival looks down at you and says, well, you've heard what the Duke said. I need your help. It's time that we go dragon hunting. What do you say?
I look at everyone and like quietly nod and see what their responses are. Does everyone go, yeah or no?
Let me go change my breeches and think about it.
So he sees.
Like I don't even talk. I just look at everyone and go,
I let out a
literally
monstrous belch, and it smells terrible. And I kind of blow it in the general
that's a
direction
yes
of
from him.
Solil, and I nod.
I'm like the only guy who actually goes here. Like I'm just ready to go.
Right. You say here, and it kind of echoes, and everyone else
I'm
is
just, just standing there, like.
And because the square is almost deserted now, all you hear is here. Like that. And so, and he kind of notices your reaction, and he says, well, my friends, of course I don't mean an actual dragon hunt. I mean that we need to go find out what has gone on from the Baroness. And trust me, you won't go alone. I will, of course, be sending the militia with you. And, of course, I will go as well. And you know that this is a guy who not only, now he did get injured in a fight against a dragon, but this guy has taken down giants before by himself, okay? This guy is a legendary badass. So, you feel immediately when he says that, you almost feel a little bit better. And he also, then he sort of looks around and he looks at, and he looks over at Zinel Revlis and he says, Zinel, there will be a little bit of fighting, I think, for those of us with interest in the sword. And he winks at you and Domdor. And then he says, but also, Fing, I think there'll be a little work to be done for our gods as well. And he sort of nods in your direction. And tries not to notice you sort of spilling your, beer over the mug as you're obviously inebriated.
God, yes.
And then he says, and there may even be, possibly, a few things that might be left over that don't really belong to anyone, Cade. And he kind of looks down at you, sort of rolling his eyes
I
slightly.
am an adventurer.
And last of all,
that implication.
and then last of all, and he turns and he looks and he says, Solio, Dejini. And he actually just, he like motions to you two, just you two. And he kind of asks the others to take a step back and he motions to you two.
Mm-hmm.
So he just motions. So are you going to come over or?
Sure.
Okay. So he motions to both of you. Okay. So he motions to both of you and he kind of turns away from the others and he says, I believe there is some evil magic afoot in this situation, and I will need the both of you to be able to seek it out the best way you can. It may be that there will be some magical treasure at the end of this adventure, but whether there is or not, for the good of Daggerfoot and these people, I need you to do everything you can to ensure that those of your order who may have been responsible for some of these foul things we have seen over the last 3 weeks, that those people are brought to justice. And he stares directly at the Ginny, like his eyes just bore in. He's like, one of those deals. He looks at you, and then he looks back at Soliel, and he looks at you, and does the thing. Boring and like that.
I speak out and say, I think we can do this. I think we're ready.
Okay.
We'll do this.
Looks back over his shoulder at you and nods. He says, very well then, my friends. In that case, if you have any preparations that you need to make, you can make them. But we set out within the hour for Crom's Hold. And with that, he turns and marches off, shouting orders. And like magic, as he's shouting these orders, you begin to see horses coming in with militia. Now, the militia of Daggerford, I should say, it's not exactly like peasants with pitchforks, but they're not the greatest fighting crew ever assembled. Okay,
it's a
because of
militia
my
for a
soldier
reason.
background.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got a soldier background. I can tell this because
They're all right. You know what I mean? Like they're okay.
They're pretty average.
Yeah, I mean, you've actually done some training with them. Like you've done some training like with them before, and the fighters have tried to help them out. And I mean, forget about the mages. Like one of them, I think, knows how to light a candle, maybe, but he generally lights himself on fire. Like there's not magic power is not happening.
So they're like
Pretty
a
much.
step or two above cannon fodder.
They're not quite as bad as the peasants and heroes of might and magic, if any of you know that reference. But they're not very useful. But they do have horses, and they are they can take an arrow just like anybody else can, and they definitely are dedicated to Istival. Yeah, they can definitely do that. And actually, there are a few of them that are better equipped than the rest. So there are some that are like, sort of irregulars, you know what I mean? They're not bad troops basically, but you guys clearly are the class of the lot basically. And so he's shouting out orders, and these horses are starting to assemble. And that gives you guys a chance to decide what it is that you want to do. You have about roughly, half hour, 45 minutes before you got to set off to Crumshold.
I'm gonna need more mead for this.
So how long does it take us to get there?
It takes probably a good 2 hours on horseback, you would guess.
I have a feeling it's not going to take us very long to get one of those like little beer hats.
Tis a hat you can put your mead in. Where do we find one of these?
Mead helm.
Are
Mead
mounts
helm.
being provided for us?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is that our mounts being provided for us? 'Cause I don't have a horse.
Yes, there are mounts that are actually being provided for you. You don't have to worry about that. For
they
you,
know
So you can just ride on
Don't
one of our
worry.
shoulders.
it'll actually be a burrow for you, Cade.
If there are any problems, I can deal with it. I know the soldiers very well, and they will listen to me.
Get me a pony,
So,
not a
yes.
girl.
Yes,
Although,
definitely.
it's good enough for the man with no name, so I guess I could take that.
Yeah.
Okay, for real though, mead. How much does it weigh? How much does it cost? I need it.
Well, I mean, if you want to try to get like a keg,
Aye.
keep in mind that if you want to haul this keg around, it is going to take some weight. I'm just letting you know, and you are going to have
Militia
to
won't mind.
exactly. So you'll see. But if you were to get a keg, this would probably be about. Let's
How
see.
much am I already carrying right now? That's part of my sheet. I don't have. We got chainmail, shield mace.
Yeah. Hey, Lakota, what's up, everybody? Good to see everyone in chat. I will do the best I can to respond to chat when I can, but I'm also doing what I can to run the game, too. And this is D&D Next Shadow Mage. Good to see everybody. D&D Next Beta Rules. So you can basically get a small keg that would be about 10 pounds that it would take to carry. It's a wooden keg. The problem is there's no really good way to kind of... You can sort of lash it onto these horses if you want, but it's going to make it more difficult for you to carry, weapons, armor, things like that.
You may have to conserve thing. You may have to conserve.
You could definitely get
Get
water
some
skins
small
full of mead,
ones.
though. I mean, you could definitely do
Yeah,
that.
you could grab a few of them and take them along.
I have one water skin. Okay.
Quick little out of character note. Here is my sheet. If you guys want to look at it.
Yeah, I'm not done with it.
I'm not knowing anything.
Keg, 10 pounds. Like, let me. There's got to be a clever way to do this. Can I? Do the horses have carts?
Not so
Well,
much. But you can, but you can definitely lash them on the side. I mean, the main issue is like, because there's 30 of you guys going, you're going to be responsible for all your gear and stuff like that. So if you want to ride on the back of a horse, riding with your armor and your weapons of what you've already got is going to be reasonably heavy. This is not a war horse you're riding on. So that's the deal. So if you want to add like a 10-pound cask, you may have to, if you can convince one of your compatriots to carry one of your weapons too, that's up to them, but it's pretty obvious that the militia is barely capable of carrying its own weapons and armor, much less anybody else's. So, but anyway.
Okay. Can I just get a few water skins full of some mead? Then?
Yes, absolutely. That will cost you a few gold pieces, and I think you should have a gold piece listing.
I have 6.
Okay,
6.
so if you want to get a couple of those, I'll say that's just going to be.
Yeah, I'll chip in a gold man too to, kind of like a cover charge.
And there we go.
All right. Well, then, if each of you, if Optic does 1 and Foom does 1 gold piece each, then that is enough to actually net you about 5 of those. So you should be able to net about 5 rather large water skins of mead.
Well, there you go.
Mead. All right, we're set.
And you actually leave it on the bar in the tavern because the bartender is still, completely passed out and behind
Right.
the bar, so he's not. But you've known him for a while. You don't want to screw him over,
And what would the weight be on that?
So let me see. Each one of those water skin, that would be about. If you get 10 of them, that's going to work out to they're about 4 pounds each. So that'll be if you got 5 of them. So 5 of them. I'm sorry, it would be about 20 pounds. So if you wanted to split it, you could do like you could like give 1 to each of your compatriots if you like.
Nay. Optic, you carry 2. I'll carry 3. You did throw in on this.
Okay.
Hey, we all threw it on. What are you talking about?
I like
Oh,
to
you
think
did?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, we all
absolutely.
did?
I don't know about you guys. I didn't.
It's a mead pool. Thank you very much.
It's a mead
all right, well then
Yes,
everybody carries
exactly.
1. Fine.
There you go.
Okay.
See, problem solved. Yeah,
So and then how
okay.
much was one of those? You said.
One of those is 4 pounds. 1 water skin is 4 pounds. Full water skin of mead. It's now a mead skin, I guess.
I am a mage. It's probably like my entire care limit.
Right?
Your carry limit is your strength times 10.
Yeah, mine's 80
Yeah.
pounds.
So I
Until
have.
we can find a party ball of holding.
You know what?
It's
I
less.
have-
It's less weight and more bulk. Actually, I
I
mean,
take it you
yeah.
mean like your entire strength, like the actual number, not
Yep.
the modifier. Because if it's
Yep.
the modifier, then I have -4 carrying capacity.
exactly.
Wow.
Okay,
I
so let's see.
I spent 8 gold, right?
Was that? I assumed you were only spending enough to, because some people were, other people were chipping in. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm just
I
trying to
did.
figure
Yep.
out the total. I'm kind of doing the character sheet as we go here. So, what was
Yeah.
the total again? It
Well,
was
the
just
total. No, it wasn't that much. The total for 5 of those was 2 gold pieces total, because each one is a few silver pieces. So if you got 5 of them, it was about 2 gold is what it cost, total collectively. So I assumed it was you spending a gold and Degini spending a gold.
That's
Degini.
fine. I can live with that. Let's do that. Let's just
Okay.
keep it simple. You guys keep your money. That keeps it simple. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Alright.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is, and by the way, as we're going through, if there's something that you guys think is unusual or you want to check out about a description or about something, please feel free to say, hey, can I find out about this, or do I notice something about this? If you like, once I get through the description, feel free to be like, what about that? So, as an example, I'm going to give Soliel and Degini an opportunity to roll a. I guess in your case it would be not lore. It would be what the heck is the magical knowledge equivalent? Let's see. Hold on a second.
Well, there's a magical lore.
I could roll about my knowledge of Kron's Keep.
Yeah, no, this is not about
Stone work.
Krom's Keep. This is about
Okay.
actually what you saw. Magical lore. So, for anyone who's got magical lore, only magical lore, which I would assume is just okay. So you guys can go ahead and make an intelligence check for me. Actually, no, I'm sorry, wisdom. I beg your pardon. Wisdom check, and then you're going to add your magical lore to that roll.
Okay.
For those who have magical lore.
So add that 10 bonus to it.
Yes.
Boom.
I do
Damn.
not have magical lore, but
I'm much more knowledgeable this time.
What's the check?
It's magical lore and it's wisdom.
Twist.
13. Yay.
Okay, so what do I got from people who had that?
I got a
Oh, wow.
17 plus 11, so 28.
Okay, and Degini, what about you?
I got a 17.
Okay, total.
Yeah, total.
Okay. All right. So, Degini, something seemed strange about it. You're not 100% sure about what you just witnessed in the hanging, but Solil is very certain that what happened with the writhing tattoos should not happen even on a mage. Like, that doesn't go down that way. You've actually seen a red wizard executed before in a capital city many, many, many miles from here and a while ago. And it was a big event, and it was a big deal, and the guy had tattoos all over his body, and none of them were writhing when he died. So you don't know what the deal is with that, but that's weird. So you were aware of that fact. Everyone else is like, okay, cool, a guy got hung. But you...
I was actually curious about that anyway. I just forgot to ask about it.
Yeah, that's fine. But now you know that you can ask about that if you like, and sometimes you'll be able to check on it, and sometimes not. But that's something that's weird, Solo.
I'm definitely
Also-
gonna let the other guys know that. Like, that would be something that would stick out very distinctly to me if I've
Alright.
seen another person
Thank you.
Yeah.
being killed before. That would be one of the first things out of my mouth.
So go ahead and let him know while I'm turning my page here.
Guys, that whole writhing business, I've seen a red mage executed before, and it's pretty different. That didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Hey.
seen that either.
What
When I chop them down, they just down. I've never seen that before.
Even snakes don't writhe. I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
Do
Hell,
we-
they go
hey,
hit
I mean, the
that.
leg writhes a little bit afterwards, but it's never the tattoos.
So, Leo, do we need to like check out the body or something at some point? Just to go make
we're-
sure he's like not rising from the dead or some crap like that?
If we're allowed to. By
Yeah, the
local
thing is that the
officials.
body has actually been taken away. The body has been taken away, you see. And as you turn around, you notice that the square is deserted, except that there's starting to be some horses coming in now with militia people on it. This is for those of you who are not at the tavern, by the way. But everyone else who's still in the square, you see some people starting to gather on horses, but there is the guy's body is not there anymore. And the rope has been taken down, which means normally what happens is they're going to go and then burn his corpse, is normally what they do to kind of finish the job. So he must have been taken down. You didn't see anyone issue the order for it, but he's not there.
So I'm out here with Soleil. He's already noted that, yeah.
Yes.
About
Yeah, but
so do you
Dom,
think we should inquire about it?
yes,
go
actually,
through
Dom, you read my mind.
We can
Especially
ask.
since you know
We
the
can ask
soldiers.
Istival if we can inquire about it. Maybe
Okay.
have the castle's mages, or even though they're pretty crap, or you can just have our mages have an
Let's
inspection
go
of the body.
take a look at it if we can. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So keep in mind that the castle is about a 15-minute walk from here towards the city, and at this point you're leaving in about 15 minutes from now, so you're not going to have a whole lot of
so
time.
we don't have time.
But you could certainly ask Istival because he's going on the ride with you.
yeah,
so.
we could ask Istival to get the mages to look at it and then let us send a courier or something.
Yeah, and actually, and speaking of the devil, by the way, the people at the tavern, I assume, are headed back to the square at this point.
Yeah, I'm good. Yep.
Okay.
I'm
So-
still with my cousin.
So you guys look around. The rest of you look around, and you see Fing and Dijini, kind of the square, like laden with what look like full water skins. Like there's a lot of. So you see them stumbling in with that. It's a
And
little.
from a distance, I'm just holding one up, smiling, and like, wait, we're good to go.
We're gonna need an extra horse. Here we go again.
That is possibly the best preparation for like potentially running into a dragon I've ever seen.
Yeah, I gotta give points for that. That's true.
They double as Molotov cocktails.
We got this.
Is Istival still with us in the square?
He has not shown up yet. You're beginning to see the militia people are starting to mill about, all on horses. They all seem to be excited and talking to each other. Istival has not appeared yet.
Okay, well I'm gonna head back to where I'm staying and
Okay.
grab all my gear, as well as I might head to the shop and quickly buy an extra healer kit
Okay.
and some extra rations.
Okay, you were in the
So-
second. You were on the second floor of that tavern, so you definitely. It's
Yeah.
only it's like a couple minutes from here, and the streets are deserted, so you can get there pretty quickly.
well,
Assuming
we'll
you
tavern-
double time it, I assume.
Yeah, will the tavern also sell healers kits and all that, or do you have to go to a shop?
No, there'll be a shop, but there's definitely a store in Daggerford that you
There's
can
much
find that in.
heals
Well,
at
they'll
the
sell
tavern.
rations though.
There's much that heals at the tavern. Yeah.
Tavern would sell rations, wouldn't they?
The tavern does not. Well, the tavern, yes, the tavern has food. The tavern has food, although it's not really in the adventuring business. Like, I mean, it provides like food. Like, there's not a lot of to-go boxes. You know what I mean in the tavern.
Someone
so
say
I'll
hot
just tell-
wings.
I'm telling everyone. I'll just tell the party now that I'm going to grab my gear. I'll also buy some extra rations and healer kit, and meet you back here when we're about to head out. And that's it. So I'll head
Okay.
north.
Okay.
Arv, while the guys were meeting up in the tavern, I was actually getting some of my gear from upstairs too.
Okay, that's fine.
So
you've-
I usually have it mostly on me anyway, so I'm all it took like 2 minutes to get ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got your gear now. You've got your gear all set up, and yeah, you're able to go. And if you look at that equipment list, Sod in the back, that'll show you what the costs are in Daggerford at the place that you go. So you can get pretty much all of those items that are there that you would like,
Yeah.
including rations and such. And that is on page 190. Sorry, not 196.
198.
198. Thank you. There is a weapons shop, but that's a little bit more like there's a couple of different ones, and it would take you a little bit longer. But the sort of general store is available to you, and that is on 198, as you said.
Yep, I'm just getting to it now. 198.
198. I don't think I got anything
There
that
it
has
is.
that many pages.
No, you do. You're just
Oofda.
not seeing it. It'll say 50.
I sent you
at the
both of
top,
them.
but-
It's a different PDF.
Yeah, and it's the second half of this book that I have, Lennox. So it wouldn't
And
look
it's
like
the
that in
actual,
PDF.
Like what the page number would be in the book, not
Oh,
what it
okay,
displays
yeah,
on the PDF.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at 272. Okay, that
Alright,
makes
so 5 gold for the healer's kit.
Yes.
So that puts me down to
Oh, there's the weight.
puts me down to 7 gold, and I'll just add that.
Yeah, I was
And I'll also get 4 more rations for 4 more days, so we have 8 days of rations. I have a feeling we'll need it. I just have this feeling if there is a siege or some sort going on, we may need extra rations.
And
And
hi.
that's-
Sorry, go ahead, dude.
I'm just saying that's 4 silver, so that puts me to 6 gold
Yep.
and 9.
Also,
is it 9 silver. So I have
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
rations
And
for
actually,
8 days.
Shovel has weight here, Stott. 8 pounds.
It does? I didn't see
Yeah.
it. Sorry. Sweet.
And a hell lot
I'm
of bulk.
gonna get really into character here. Oh, the mead's running through me. I need to take a quick dribble. I'll be right back.
All right. All right.
Way to embrace it there.
As Foom is doing that, I wanted to mention, by the way, that the person who's the blacksmith in Daggerford is who does a lot of the weaponry and things like that is actually a dwarf. His name is Derval Iron Eater, and at the moment the blacksmith is actually not closed. It was closed for the sort of summer festival games at the moment. The Adventurer is open because the general store is always open. It's actually run by a guy named Falarian Philvin Dorson, who is a retired thief. Some people think he still is a thief based on the prices he charges, but he swears that these are the best ones he could get. Anyway, his store is always open. It seems like he's open 24/7, so that's where you're able to get your supplies from and stuff.
Great.
So as soon as Foom comes back, you'll be able to set off. And in the meantime, I'll mention that at the militia now, the square is now fairly full with horses and people. And as you kind of take a look around, they sort of look at you curiously. Most of them wave, because most of them know of you at the very least. And you see a couple of fairly relieved looks from people, because you can tell that they're a little bit nervous, and they're sort of happy to see you. But most people are just kind of wondering what's going to happen. So you can hear people chattering. You'd have to get closer to them if you wanted to hear what they were saying. But they are definitely having conversations with each other all around the square.
Actually, Arv, I will eavesdrop then.
Okay. So you head over and go ahead and make. Let me see. Let's make it an intelligence check. And just add your modifier for me.
Can't do charisma?
Nope. Because you're eavesdropping. You're not actually.
I'm not engaging him. That's a good point.
Correct.
Charismatically eavesdrop.
You charismatically.
Right.
If they find out and catch you, you'll need to use charisma.
I'm eavesdropping casually. There's a difference. 14.
Okay. Let's see. Where did that die keep rolling? Is it there? I just want to make sure I get the dice roller here if I can. Okay, 14. So you hear two of them chatting to each other, and there's one who's got this, one who looks older and one younger, and the younger one is saying, Dad, I tell you, I'm old enough to go on this journey. He says, son, don't do what I'm telling you. You gotta go back to your ma. This isn't any place for a child to be. Dad, I'm not a child. I'm at least 17. You're not a day over 15. I ought to know when we conceived you. Dad, don't talk about when you and Ma conceived me. Oh, don't you talk back. Dad, do you think we're going to make it through? We'll be fine. I mean, I'll be fine. I'm telling you, get back to your Ma. No, I'm not going back to Ma, Dad. You need me. You can't even hold your sword right anymore. That's nonsense. Look at this. And he whips his sword out, and he whips it right behind him. I need you to make a dexterity check for me, Cade.
We're not even out of the city, and you're gonna.
Yeah, really. 13. Not that much better.
Well, it actually you do manage to dodge out of the way, and it sort of embeds in the ground. And he looks around. He's like, "Oh, I apologize. It's this damn new hilt. Every time the blacksmith works on it, that dwarf is a fool. You can't trust them dwarves." And then he sees Domdor. He's like, "I mean, you can't trust some dwarves. You know what I'm saying, huh?" Eh?
How old is this guy?
He looks like he's in his maybe his early 70s. He's kind of doddering. I mean, he's not falling over himself, but so he picks up the sword and he kind of
hold on with sword.
Yeah, he picks up the sword and he kind of sheathes it again. He says, "I apologize about that. Didn't mean to hit you there. I didn't know anyone was actually close by. And why were you close by actually?"
No reason. Certainly not looking to get hit in the head with your there.
And you look around and you realize that basically everyone else has clustered everywhere else, and these guys are standing by their horses, and it's them and the horses and you, and everyone else is back 10 feet, and you're just next to them.
Problem. It's actually I was admiring your mount there, but I had to take a step back when your sword left your hand accidentally.
It's a fine horse. It's a fine horse, Dad. But really, Dad, don't let's go back to son. I'm telling you to go back to your ma. Well, let's let him decide it. And the son turns to you, Cade, and he says, "Don't you think I'm 18. Don't you think I'm old enough to go?" And he pulls himself up to his full height. And you notice, by the way, that he first said 17, and now he's added a year onto his age.
Yep,
So he says, "I'm at least 18," and he pulls himself up, and he lifts himself up to his full 5.5-foot height, and he's like, "I can do it. I can do it. I can do it, right?" And he looks at you, and then he draws his sword, and he doesn't let it fly out of its scabbard. In fairness,
that's a plus right there.
And he looks at you, And so the dad looks at you.
Right before my eyes, it looks like.
Yeah, so both of them
But
look
look-
at you.
Yeah, it was like, look, we need all the men we can get. I'll be honest about it.
This is
So,
a boy,
your
not a
son can
man.
ride-
It's a boy.
Looks man enough to me.
Well,
And if he
you're
can
a...
ride and-
I
and
mean,
he held his sword better than you did. So
That's-
if he can ride and hold the sword, come on. Start turning to walk away.
okay. So on the way backwards, you hear them say, "That goddamn half-human man of God," and he like mutters something else. So by this time, yeah, by this time you notice that Fing has toddled back over, and just as all of them are sort of gathered around, you hear this hush all of a sudden fall over the crowd, and then you look over and you see Isteval coming in, and Isteval is dressed in the full regalia. He's actually known as a purple knight, so he has purple flames emblazoned. His helmet has got the sun, a purple sun emblazoned on it as well. And as he's riding his warhorse, which by the way is a legitimate warhorse, not one of these broken down nags that a lot of the others have. This thing is no joke. I mean, it comes in fully armored, and he walks into the middle, and everyone kind of makes a circle around him, and he turns the horse around in this very smooth pattern. He looks all around them, and he looks at all of you and says, "All right, men, we didn't ask for this fight, but we will bring it to them. We're going to Crom's Hold. We're not going to take on any unnecessary risks, but we will do what is needed to secure Daggerford." And he looks at each one of them, and all of them sort of bow their heads, and then he looks at each one of you.
And
I'm
I
nodding,
nod.
that's all he gets.
I nod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Festival.
All right.
Bow schmow.
He looks at each one of you. He assumes Cade bows.
I just got back from the bathroom. I have no idea what is going on right now.
All right, then let us be off. And he sort of spurs his horse, and he gets in the horse and he goes. And as he's riding out and the militia start to follow him, you all notice that there are 6 horses that have been brought up. 6 horses that are without riders, and a somewhat smaller one for Cade.
Rock on.
All right.
So before we
Let's
head
do
out,
it.
I'm gonna quickly tell Bombor to stay. You have to stay here, of course. You can't come. And if you could just send a note over to back to the family in Mithril.
No, wait just a minute. I am just as good a fighter as
no,
ever.
No, that was years ago.
No, I'm good.
You haven't
I'm
gone
good at
out
this.
in 4 years.
But do you see this
might be
axe?
useful
Look
here.
at this
No.
axe. He shows the axe.
That's my axe. Why did you
Oh.
wear my axe?
Oh, that's right. Here, have your axe. And then he's like, "Do you see this axe?" And he pulls out his super notched axe. He's like, "This thing cut off the head of 5 orcs at once."
Okay, cut
With
it-
my
cut
eyes
the tree
closed.
Over there. Can you see the tree over there?
That I
Cut
wanna
the
see.
tree over there. I want to see you do it. Go on,
He
do
sort
it.
of stumbles over and he embeds his axe directly into the side beam of a house. He's like, "There, see?" And then someone comes out of the house and they kind of look like this, like. He's like, I was just showing you what I could do to a house if I wanted to.
Smack him on the back of the head. You
It
idiot.
was coming right for you, wasn't it? It's like, get on my smaller horse.
He kind of rips the axe out. He's like, "All right, fine, but listen to me, Domdor. If you come back dead, we're gonna have words, you and me." And then he comes over and he kind of does the dwarf headbutt, you know.
Yeah,
And then he claps you on the back and he waves to all of you. "Now you all keep my cousin safe, all right?"
I think you got that the other way around, buddy.
All right. Well,
us
I have
safe.
faith in all of you. And he kind
there
of
you go.
waves and then stumbles off with all of your mugs of
I'm
mead.
face palming the whole time.
Yeah. Intact. Okay.
Is he
It all
old or
just
just drunk?
He's kind of a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
There you
going
go.
around, apparently.
Yes.
What?
Oh man.
So,
Okay.
as we head out, I want to pull up next to Fing's horse.
Yeah.
If he's still on it by the time we leave town. And point out did the old man and the young man are they with us in the group, by the way?
They're actually ahead of you a good ways though. I mean they're
That's
in
fine.
like,
That's fine. I don't need them here right now.
Yeah,
I
they're-
just need to point them out to him.
Oh yeah, they're there. Yep.
Okay. Fing, do me a favor when you have a chance. Go talk to those two and like when we stop to rest the horses or whatever, and like tell the young one or the old one you're gonna cast some sort of blessing on him that'll protect him in combat, so the old man will shut up about his son being out here with the rest of the militia.
Nice.
Even if you don't do it, even if you can't do it for real, just make something up.
What if I
Okay.
just charm him?
Yeah, that's fine too. I don't care. I don't care. But the old man is really getting on my nerves. Plus, he almost tried to brain me with a sword by accident. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Total accident. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything else they want to say to each other as you ride along?
Oh, we're already riding.
You are. Yeah, you're just on the outskirts of town. Like you just got on the horse.
It's fine. It's just a William. That's right.
Shoot.
I've been just
Stay
following
together.
around the whole time.
Why were you gonna
I don't
grab
agree.
something else?
I don't know how we got here.
He's like just coming to.
Well, okay.
What happens in Daggerford stays in Daggerford, right?
I was just gonna fart around and try and use my divine intervention for no apparent reason, but you know, whatever.
Oh
Just
goodness.
stay in the middle and follow the person in front of you. You don't need to do anything else. Just
Okay,
How did I
Let's
get so tall?
ride.
My rock back and
Let
forth.
the
I don't
horse-
that
understand.
I can do. That I can
All right. So you guys are on your way out, and as you guys are going along, by the way, Zynal, do me a favor and make an intelligence check for me, please.
For the record, I'm kind of hanging towards the back of the pack, reading a book.
Okay.
By the way, did I ever mention that horse riding makes me a bit nauseous?
Yes, you noticed that Thing is a bit seasick, for sure. Lennox,
I
did
moved
you?
my horse
Yeah, I'm doing it
further
now. I had
away?
to check to see what the modifier was.
Okay.
Oh,
Really? I got a 1. A 1.
Where are the dice? Why are the dice not rolling on my screen? I don't understand.
He might not
They're
have
short-
his
they're short-
3D
they're
dice
short on
set.
mine.
3D enabled. The 3D dice enabled.
Oh.
He needs to do that himself.
Yeah, can
Oh.
you enable your 3D
Oh.
dice? That would help.
Enabled. There we go.
Go ahead and roll that again.
I'll take it because that was a 1.
there you
Yes, he gets a free reroll.
Yeah. Do all get a mulligan, Arv?
And only in certain circumstances when you don't have your 3D dice enabled.
Yeah, I get it.
So 10 plus anything or no?
No, I get no modifier for
That's
intelligence.
enough though. You actually next to you you hear sort of a sniffing sound, like a slight sniffling sound below you, back behind you as you're riding out of town. It seems to
Not
be
me.
over to the right, behind a bush. It seems to be coming from.
Boom.
All right, I kind of signal everybody to kind of keep going. I want to go check it out, make sure we're not getting followed or something.
Okay. So as you get over, you see that the bush seems to be rustling a little bit.
Charge it.
YOLO! Yeah.
We're level 1. Leave it alone. Leave it
Actually,
alone.
I just kind of pull out my sword and I just kind of poke out the brush a little bit, trying to whatever back there, trying to scare it out.
Okay. And you hear this. You hear. That's what you hear.
I actually shout to the other guys. It's like, hey, there might be a problem over here.
Okay.
Oh, everyone stop, turn around, what's happening?
I look up from
Having
my
Xeno.
spell book to see what's going on.
Okay.
I quickly clear the brush to see what was underneath it.
You see a little boy lying on the ground. He seems to be crying.
You just turned us into babysitters.
And he looks up and he says, "Are you gonna have marks on you, and are they gonna go around on your body and then they're gonna stop when you die?" And you realize that he obviously must have seen the hanging that just happened.
And it freaked him out.
I bought ropes at
Oh
the
my-
store,
I
so if
can't-
we
I
need to
can't-
get rid of this guy.
Fing, give him a shot of mead.
Well, he's
Well,
smart for life.
Fing's not now. Fing is not hurting this yet. None of you have heard this, so the only one who's right there is
further
on.
ahead.
No, he called us.
Further ahead.
I did call.
No, you called, but
Yeah,
it wasn't. I assumed you didn't
We're
gallop at
still-
full
we're-
blast back to him.
Yeah, we turned around, but we're like, it's still a
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna miss this opportunity. I just kind of put the sword back in his sheath, and I just kind of do a little bit of pose in my, and it's like, you really think I would get hurt?
And he goes,
Stoic.
he's well, I mean, aren't you going to get hurt? And what might you? Are you going to die?
I just kind of point towards the others and just like, even it's like with these men.
Yes,
I
yes,
think-
gentlemen. Yes.
And at this point, you see Fing kind of listing back and forth like he's about to fall off his horse, and the
How
boy
How
the
far
boy
away is
the boy kind of looks
right
up
now?
at Fing. He
I
just
just
he
kinda
sees
wave
you,
the idea away. And just don't even pay attention to that guy.
but he looks back. He says, Okay, because I otherwise if I don't know what to do if other people die because my daddy isn't here anymore and it's just me and my mommy and I don't know how to keep her safe. I'm supposed to keep her safe because I'm the only man in the house. You think he's maybe 7 or 8. He's like, I'm the only man in the house. That's why I came to see what happened to the bad man because I'm supposed to keep my mommy safe.
You could tie him up and traffic him into the underworld.
Underdark.
Why are you talking to that bush for so long? What's going on over there?
I just like completely ignore him. I mean,
Come on, Xeno. You can get a
Well,
date
his
on
life
this.
dude, you're giving me the hard one here. I see how it is.
Fine, I'm gonna stumble on over there and see what's going on.
I just reassuringly like pat him on the head or whatever. It's like,
All right.
kinda, I don't even really say anything. I just like give him a reassuring smile or whatever.
All right. Okay. I guess I'll go back and tell my mommy it's okay. If you think it's okay, you're not gonna die and you're not gonna let any of us die, right?
I just nod. It's like everything will be fine.
Okay. Well, my name is Sarvin. My name is Sarvin, and I live right there. Sarvin.
Really?
It's not the same spelling at all.
Small Arvin.
No, God no. Sarven. But he's like I Sarvin, and I live down there, and he points like towards Daggerford, which could be anywhere. Like he's just kind of like waves vaguely in that direction.
So now Lennox is still the only one that can see this kid right now.
No, you're now close enough that you can see
I'm
him.
close enough. I stumbled on over there.
Yes, and he's and you see it's this little boy. You guys can see Cade and Fing. You guys can both see that he's has like this tear-streaked face, but he looks like he's not crying anymore. And you see Zynal is actually like patting him on the head as he comes close. And as he sees you two, he kind of looks at you and he gives you a smile, and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna go back now and tell my mommy that we're not gonna die." And then he goes and he says, "Thank you." And he runs off with he's going, "We're not going to die, everybody. Mommy, we're not going to die. We're not going to die." And you hear him for at least another couple of minutes, like just trailing off. We're not going to die. Like as he runs back into town.
Xeno, do you have a shield? As a warrior, do you have a shield?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I actually
Do you want to throw it at him, Captain America style?
No.
That's what Guapo wants.
Collect a magic missile off and make it look fancy.
I said, did you tell him you'll come back with your shield or on it?
Well, Guapo has been asking you to slaughter him. He's like, "No, not the little kid. I don't care."
Come on. I'm chaotic, but I'm still chaotic good.
I kind of had the notion.
Yeah,
I was
so am
like,
I. What's
well,
your point?
He's obviously screwed up for the rest of his life. We should probably just make this simple on him.
And he already ran off. I was gonna give him some money and tell him to buy a sword and learn how to use it to protect himself and his mom.
That would have been a good thought. He was
I was gonna tie him up. If I'm to pursue my career in necromancy, I need bodies.
especially fresh bodies.
True.
All right. Well, now you notice that the militia is kind of beginning to disappear into the distance a little bit.
Suppose we better catch up with him.
We should probably catch up. Yeah.
Let's go, guys. We've got to get going.
Okay. So you guys
Kids
remount.
these days just need to take their bullocks out of their pockets.
Exactly.
Man up.
20 silver says we're gonna find that kid later in a burned house.
You ride south for several hours past farmhouses and cottages. Under stormy skies, you finally see Crom's Hold, which is a stark castle, little more than a squat keep surrounded by an outer wall. It looks like it has seen many repairs over the years. Galloping across... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, is the storm getting worse?
No, does not seem to be getting worse. Sometimes it's overcast, sometimes it's storming on and off, basically, but not worse from what you can tell.
This cleric needs a nap.
Do we see any enemy so it's just a storm, or is there going to be rain?
So far, it's the storm. The thunder seems to have retreated to a distance a little bit. I mean, you can hear the thunder rumbling in the distance. Definitely, the roads you've been on are a little bit muddy from the constant on and off rain. The roads are not in the greatest repair, but as you get a little bit closer to the keep, you notice that it actually is improving a bit, which fits with what you know a little bit of Baroness Wynn, which we'll talk about in a minute when you see her. And as you gallop across this open field leading to the hold, you do not see or hear signs of battle. In fact, there's kind of besides the rumbling thunder and the sound of the horses' hooves, it's kind of quiet all around you. There is some thunder in the distance that rolls the sky as you approach. The rain turns to mist, and a cool coastal wind washes over you. The gates of Crom's Hold open as you approach. Behind the outer wall is a bailey within a well, a stable, a small pasture, and a training yard. The keep itself is a simple manor house that looks relatively new. You see a row of 6 human corpses in the yard, and you also see 6 guards standing watch along the west wall. An armored woman in her mid-30s emerges from the manor, accompanied by an armored man with a bandaged shoulder wound. As they approach, the woman removes one gauntlet and extends a hand to Sir Istival. "Welcome to Crom's Hold." "Baroness Wynne," the knight replies. "Don't tell me you've slain and buried the dragon already." "I'm afraid not," she said dryly. "I'm not as young as I used to be. But enough of that. My sergeant here is stricken by a poisoned wound." And she points over to the man, and you can see that his shoulder that he's clutching, he's kind of shivering, and his eyes seem a little bit glazed, and there seem to be some issues there.
Yep, he's a debtor.
And she looks at all of you.
Yep. So, can I spot from here if any of the keep is damaged?
You do notice that there seems to be a couple of structural anomalies, maybe, but you can't tell if it's recent or if it's from the distant past. I mean, clearly this keep has seen a bunch of battles. You don't see, like, a destroyed wall, like a dragon, like, you know, slapped it with its wing or something. Definitely not that. The sergeant does seem to be getting worse, and she kind of looks at all of you expectantly.
Hey,
So-
Fing, why don't you get in there?
Yeah, we should head over. Head over.
Okay.
Walk over.
Call over
and
to Isabel. Tell Isabel
See
that
if
we're gonna check.
there's anything
Yeah,
I can do.
Are you guys dismounting, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Okay, so you dismount and you head over. Fing, what do you want to do? You how do you want to handle this guy?
I check on his condition, see if I can see if there's anything I can do with this. I don't think
So-
I have anything prepared for this situation.
Well, you might. Depends on what you've got in the toolkit as a healer, I guess I'd say. You being the healer.
Yes.
But when you examine the wound, you do notice that the wound is not that large. There's definitely what looks like the bottom half of a dart that may have broken off in the wound, but it's not a big wound. I mean, it's not anywhere near any major like arteries or anything. But there's an ugly bluish purplish ring around it, and it looks, whether it's infected or not, you can't tell, but something is clearly off, and you can tell without even doing a check that there's poison going on here. Yes.
Is there any chance that I can try and find out what type of poison it was?
Possibly. If you have some kind of I believe it would be healing lore or something of the equivalent. It's a wisdom check plus, but let me see. Hold on.
I have
blah.
forbidden, political, and religious.
No.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. You were able to do this because you actually have the light. You actually, because of your healing, have some knowledge of this. So, I will allow you to go ahead and roll a wisdom check on this one,
Okay.
and then you add your bonus, of course.
Yep. All right. With my lore bonus or no?
No, not
No.
your lore. No.
Okay.
So just the +3, I think.
Oh, nice. 22.
22.
Sweet.
Do you have the 3D dice activated, Film?
I do.
Yeah,
it just
I saw
it just
I saw it.
went under my
Yep.
avatar there.
Oh, okay. I
all
missed
the
it.
dice
Okay.
are popping up for me on the side.
Got you. I got to figure out how to
Yeah.
capture this
The
differently. Okay, that's
sidebar
fine.
is awesome.
No, that's fine. Okay, so what did you get now? I'm sorry.
22.
22. Okay. Yes. So you definitely are able to determine that this is poison, and that the particular kind of poison is not too difficult to deal with as long as you apply some kind of magical healing to it. So you've got to apply. It's not just enough to do like a healer's kit, though. You need some kind of magical healing.
I did have cure wounds prepared, but I don't think that would that.
Any kind of
Yes,
magical
it's
healing
just
would
a
do.
foot.
Yeah,
Yes. He's saying, yeah, pretty much that'll do it.
Okay.
I would think
Then
so.
can I ask if he will allow me to attempt to cure wounds?
He's like that.
Okay. Then I'm gonna do it anyways.
Okay, so go ahead. So you intone. So what is that? What is that? How does that go? That when you intone that what are we talking about here?
Where am I? God, I got so many things open. This is why I need to finish.
This
my
is-
character sheet.
This is coming straight from your brain, actually.
Yeah.
I just want you to intone a healing for me.
Oh, what, like a chant?
Yeah.
Hard copy for the win.
Sing it, baby. Sing it. Come on. Lay your hands on me. You know, come on.
Yeah, you could do the lay your hands on me. No, let's let him do it.
I don't know.
Just say what you do.
By the power of the gods above and the mead in my belly, I attempt to heal you.
Ain't you jelly or something? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a cleric brewer on our hands.
All right. Well, with that powerful chant, you see light glowing around Fing's hands. Light glowing around Fing's hands, and the light flows into his wound. And somewhere in the distance, you hear like that, and then you see the bluish and purplish tint starting to fade, and then with a boop, the bottom half of the dart actually pops out and lands on the ground.
That's what I want to look at.
And it all sort of, the wound kind of knits over, and he looks at you, and he's still like shivering, but you can tell he's like, thank you, healer, thank you. And everyone kind of looks at you like, And one of them's like,
Actually,
"Aren't you
stop.
jelly, huh?" One of the soldiers like, and so you see people like whispering to each other. And the dart is now on the ground by his feet.
I go
So
pick
there
that
were
up.
5 soldiers
Right,
there. Yeah,
okay.
is that correct?
All right, I'm sorry. What's up?
There were
Sod?
5 soldiers there. Yes, on the ground. Is that what
There
you
were
said
6 corpses.
6.
Well, you said
6.
bodies, you didn't say
before? Are they all,
necessarily
and
souls.
he's the only one alive. He was the only one.
No, there's 6 corpses and there's 6 guards standing watch. This armored man with a bandaged shouldered wound that
okay.
was someone else.
So I go and inspect the dead
Okay.
bodies.
As you're doing that, Cade takes a look at the dart. What are you looking for in the dart, Cade?
First of all, wearing gloves.
Oh, okay.
And it's a dart, which like a regular like throwing dart, human throwing dart, like a a weapon, not from a spiky tail of something. I'm just making that up.
Correct.
Okay, so I take
Now-
I take it over to the lady. Hold on. Yes, I
Yeah.
mean, do we check on
Well,
this?
no, I was just gonna add one thing into that though.
Yeah.
It is definitely not from a weapon. You're not certain though if it was thrown. It is because you have a lot of expertise at thrown weapons. It is possible that it was fired or shot from something, but it's not a crossbow bolt. It's not an arrow. So it's almost as if it could have been from a blowgun or something like that. But it's definitely not normal from what you know.
Okay, and actually, then
real quick, because I'm still
Yep.
kneeling next to the guy that was poisoned.
Yes.
How like coherent is he right now?
He's pretty much together. I think. I mean, he's still kind of freaked out about the poison that was in him, but he seems to be like he's kind of maybe still in a little bit of a state of shock, but he's okay.
nice divinorium. Yes.
And now,
give it
does
to me.
does anybody know where this dart came from? What were they doing? Like, where was Can I ask this? Like, where was he when this happened? Like, where did this come from?
We were in the midst of the fight. But perhaps Lady Wynn could tell you more. I just know that I was fighting, and then I felt this horrible pain in my shoulder, and there was some sound like someone yelling or chanting or something, and then the next thing I knew, I was on the bed in the background, and my shoulder was like cold and ice and fire all at the same time, and I was beginning to fade. Now while you're doing that, Cade, what are you doing with the dart? I'm sorry, you said with gloves. What are you doing with it?
Yeah, I was going up to the woman, who's obviously the head of the keep here,
Okay.
and hold it up. And like, I don't know a lot about dragons, but I don't think any of them ever do this kind of thing.
That's because it
So-
did not come from the dragon, good halfling.
Oh. Okay.
So she's about to go on, and she's going to tell a story, and then I'll come back to you, Domdor, okay? So, because you're a little bit, you're kind of inspecting, so I'll get to your inspection in a minute.
Yep.
So she looks at all of you, and she says, and not even really noticing, by the way, the sergeant being helped, she's kind of like, sort of like, good. Like as if you had cleaned off a piece of china, and she was like, that's adequate, and she goes on to the next thing. And she says, the events are as follows. A huge black dragon flew in from the lizard marsh and landed right there in this bailey, not more than 2 days ago. It called itself Thos Fayunin, the Sun Swallower, chosen of Talona. Now, the lizard marsh is a favorite haunt for black dragons, but I have never heard of a black dragon so bold or with so many aggrandizing titles. She rolls her eyes. After dispatching a servant to Daggerford, I sent someone off to let you know of what had happened. I managed to parley with this thing. It demanded tribute from us, and I provided it on condition that it leave in peace. It agreed to do so, took off and left, and I thought that you would have nothing to do. The minute that it left, well, not quite the minute, an hour later, a huge force of lizard folk attacked us from the west. These lizard folk tried to scale the outer wall. You can still see some of them, and she points out some of the places on the walls that seem to have some divots and, kinks and, rocks that were knocked out of it and things like that. Right over there where they tried to land. But my soldiers, fortunately, were equal to the task. Well, and she looks down at the 6 bodies. Most of them were equal to it. And then she says, and I cannot say anything else other than to say that a few of them came down with some wasting disease of some sort, something that was worse than we had encountered before. These 6 men died, as far as I know, in battle, but at least a few of others that are inside the keep died of something far different. I think we've contained it. I don't sense any disease anywhere else, but from what I can tell, they died not of combat, but of some other sickness. And she kind of looks down at her sergeant there and nods at him, the one that you just healed, Fing, and says, we were concerned about him as well. There were a few darts that we found near their bodies also, but not all of them. Some of them simply died of this, whatever it was, disease, and we could find no darts on their person. Now, while you guys are hearing this story, Domdor has gone over to inspect the bodies in question. So, what do you want to do, basically, to inspect it, Domdor?
Basically, check the wounds and see if there's anything out of the ordinary. If it was a battle of some type.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like they definitely look like they fell in battle. You see some arrow wounds in them for sure. It looks like a couple have what look like short slash marks on the fronts of their leather armor. Not that would have been made by a sword, but maybe by small hand axes or daggers, perhaps, something along those lines. And the way that they are slashed, and actually make a... Hold on a second. Why don't you make a...
A wisdom, maybe?
Probably wisdom.
Yeah, make a wisdom check for me, but add 2 to it, because this is also knowledge of combat that I'm including here.
Okay, and I have a plus.
So
1
2 plus your... Right, so plus 3 total, right.
Oh.
You're like...
Roll the 1.
You're like, you know what, God? You're like, you know what? Definitely something slashed this armor. I've seen this before. It's not made this way. It's not a watermark.
Sorry, Arv, that would have raised my divine intervention by 1, yes?
Your divine... You mean what you just did with the guy?
Yeah.
I believe...
You're a creature of a terminal disease?
Yeah, but let me check where... Yes, but hold on a second, though. Where are you seeing the divine intervention?
Character sheet. Hold on a minute. Page 269. Devotion score.
That is at level 10, sir.
Oh, that is at level 10. Wait, what?
You gain the divine
Is
intervention.
that where that kicks in? This layout. All right.
I was really confused. I'm like, really? Already?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, you have no idea, Domdor, what the hell happened, except that there was definitely... But one thing you can say for sure is that at least these guys seem to be fighting in battle, fell in battle defending the keep, you would assume. And by the way, based on how many lizard folk, because you smell a lot of them, and you see a few lizard folk corpses, although not very many inside the walls, maybe 1 or 2 of them. You see 1 or 2 of them, and you wonder actually if they were maybe even brought inside, because it doesn't look as if they fell from the outside of the wall. So clearly these guys basically took the lizard folk to school, you would guess. But from judging from what Domdor doesn't know this part because he didn't hear the story, but the rest of you know that from the number of lizard folk that she described, they must have done a pretty good job repelling the attack from those lizard folk, because it doesn't look like, as far as they were outnumbered, they clearly were higher in class, if you will, than these lizard folk that were attacking.
I do got a question. Does anybody remember what the lizard folk look like? Maybe specifics so we can see where they came from.
There's bodies. There you can look
Yeah,
at the bodies here. So.
Because you
I was
going
gonna check out next myself anyway.
So well, then I'd like to check them out and see if I can't identify.
I will pop up a picture for you. In fact, give me 1 second, and I'll give you a picture.
After inspecting the bodies, was asking
Visual aids
because I'm a soldier myself.
And Commando, my character sheet is not complete yet. It'll be tomorrow, and then I'll.
Also, did anyone else catch how she said that
he's going to turn? Monkey, stop it!
that the lizards scaled the walls?
Yeah, I did notice
Anyone
that.
else catch
I was
that?
gonna
Yeah.
see if I could figure out if they
said
originated from
tried
somewhere.
to.
tonight.
The pun power is strong with this one.
Oh, jeez. Well, okay, wait,
I see it.
lady, you said force of how large? Scores? Hundreds?
She
Somewhere
kind
in
of
between?
she kind of raises her eyebrows at the term lady, and
I
then
thought that was the.
oh, you mean
the
that
proper
lady?
address.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, yes, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Not just
Yes.
not, hey,
Well,
lady.
well, it
lady
sounded
of the
like you were like
castle.
it sounded like you were like, listen, lady.
No,
Sorry.
that's,
Okay,
didn't
that's
mean to
fine.
come across that way.
Yes,
That's
okay, then
funny
she
though.
does not raise the eyebrow then. Yes, so
And she
yes.
goes back down.
So this is a picture of what one of these creatures looks like. And you can see it in cast. Let's see, what was I going to say? So in answer to your question, so you were asking about, I'm sorry, ask that again, Cade.
How large was the attacking force? You said huge. Hundreds?
It
Couple
was,
score?
we estimate probably at least 150 would have fell. That we killed directly, and there were probably more of them. The rest of them all melted into the swamps as we attacked them. Which I need to say, and she kind of looks a little, she gets a frown on her face. This is not the way the lizard folk operate. We've been in this swamp, on the edge of this swamp for many years. They know better than to attack a well-armed keep of this sort. I have no idea what would possess them to all at once come attack us in this way.
Indeed. Arv, what was her actual name again? They introduced themselves at the beginning, and I didn't jot it down. Could you?
Her name is Baroness Wynne Crom.
Oh, Baroness. Okay. Baroness.
Yes.
I'm just gonna make that up.
Yep.
Wynne Crom. C-R-O-M, just like Crom, like by Crom Conan, or with an E at the end?
Two M's, actually.
Thank you.
And actually, her first name is Wynne, W-Y-N-N-E.
Hey, I
and
got
then
it.
Crom.
Sweet. Okay.
And
Okay,
actually,
Baroness would be her address. That was how I would call her. So.
yes, and actually, Domdor actually knows, because he's from Daggerford, a little bit about her. The Baroness Wynne Crom Domdor, you know, and you can relate this to the party if you like, is that she is respected throughout Daggerford and the Shining Valley, but that respect is tinged with fear, because the Baroness does not screw around. She rules the area that she governs and the area around it with an iron fist. She slaughters creatures. Mercy is not in her vocabulary. And she basically, although she's not like actively trying to do bad things to people from what you can tell, she will not go out of her way to save someone. If a soldier ventures out into the swamp, there's not going to be one of those no man left behind deals. She's like, well, you went off in the swamp, you do what you do. So she's always been someone that people respect and fear. Love would not be part of the equation with her.
So she's a female Dick Cheney, is what you're saying. Okay, got it.
I said not evil.
Ooh,
I said not evil.
Ooh,
Not
Shots
evil.
fired.
dropping the political.
I like the not evil part.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Very
nice,
different.
Arv. Very
But
nice,
actually,
yes.
the picture is actually a good representation of him right here. No, I'm just kidding.
Now,
So-
what, Arv, I'm not. Where is it? I'm not seeing it either on the cast. Oh wait, there it is. Never mind. Okay, sorry. Got it. Ew.
Okay, so that's what the bodies look like, and there's only a couple of them.
Indeed.
I wanted
Yeah.
to see if there was a way I could identify where they came from.
Let's see.
Zinal, if there was like 100 of them, there should be a big matted, trampled grassland where we can just follow the trail.
Yeah, I mean,
Back
you
to
don't
the
actually need to check Zynal to know that they're definitely from the swamp. There are lizard men that come from other lands, but this is definitely one that's common to the swamp area.
Okay, so that's pretty obvious.
Especially
yes.
if they're dragging bodies back with them, which they must have because there's none around. So,
Yes, and now a typical lizard folk, by the way, because it may not be evident in this picture, it stands about 6 to 7 feet tall. This particular one has a number of gray scales that are covering its body, and it has that long tail that you see behind it is about 3 to 4 feet in length. Lizard folk tribes tend to settle in swamps, actually, and there have been occasional raids by lizard folk tribes on travelers that came too close to the swamp, but first of all, they're never organized enough to be able to try to coordinate an attack on a keep, and they're also not dumb enough to do it most of the time. So why now and why this is strange.
Baroness, I have another question, if you will indulge me.
Yes.
Bring in some of that charisma before. At any time during the battle, did there seem to be one that you would identify as a leader? Maybe some sort of what do they call him? It's kind of like Fing, but like with bones in his hair, and he has a staff and stuff. And he
You mean a
chants around.
shaman?
Yeah,
of
that's
some
it. Yeah,
kind?
the shaman.
No.
Or a better warrior, or a leader warrior, something like that.
If
someone
only
who
it had
leads
been.
guys.
If only there had been, I would have had someone I could have told my men to target from the walls. No,
Hey,
there were
let
just a
the
bunch
sheep
of them
waits.
swirling out like the mud that they are. And then she looks at her sergeant, who by this point has managed to stand up, Fing, after giving you again a knowing, a thankful glance again. Stands up and she says, she looks down at him and she says, Durin, Are you back on your feet? Can you move again? Yes, my lady, he says. All right, then. Take some men, drag these corpses of their enemies to the edge of the swamp, decapitate the lizard folk, and mount the severed heads on spears. I want everyone to know what they're dealing with. And then she turns away. And he immediately, is like, yes, my lady, and immediately goes off. A couple of the guards who were standing there go with him, and they drag the corpses off. You get the impression that this is a person who's used to having her orders obeyed immediately, and that is what happens. So that's that. And then she says, she's like, well, I don't know what else you want me to do, Istival, but I have whatever I can accomplish here I think has been accomplished. I don't want my keep attacked again. I don't know what to say about the dragon. Hopefully the tribute that we gave it will be enough to send it away for now.
May I walk over to the Baroness while listening to this and ask her what was the actual tribute?
The tribute? Oh, it's an altar, an half-forgotten relic left behind by my ancestors. It was made of blue coral with sides that looked like crashing waves. It's been locked away in the dungeons of this castle for years. I'm not sure how the dragon knew of it. It seemed a fair price to pay for my soldiers' lives. And you notice now, when you do that, let's see. Everybody make an intelligence check for me, please.
Finally.
I'll be following up
just
that
straight
question.
up intelligence.
Boom.
Not like lore or anything like that.
Not lore in this case, just intelligence.
Okay.
Wait,
12.
4.
Hold on.
13.
14.
Anyone else?
14.
Hold on.
Is that everybody?
Like I said, my laptop is very
Oh,
slow.
where'd it go? 9.
Big old 9.
Woo!
So the highest number anyone got was a 14?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh man, bad rolls.
All right. Just nice day.
Okay, well, actually, I want to follow that up anyways. And I say, but wait a minute, do you say the dragon asked for the altar specifically, not just give me some silver?
No, he asked for this altar. I don't know why, but it was not a very important thing.
Says you. Okay.
Where was the altar located in the keep?
As I said, it's been located in the dungeon of this castle for years. It actually took me a few minutes to actually find it again. It's a good thing I remembered finally where we had put it. It's kind of a nuisance, really.
I don't think it's where it's been. It's where it's going is the problem.
Yeah, and
well.
And which way did the dragon head off to after obtaining the altar?
After that, it simply took off and headed into the direction of the swamp, where I assume its lair is.
Of course. Oh joy! I just got new boots. I just got these boots cleaned.
Would there be a chance that these lizard men have somehow aligned with the dragon?
Are you asking the party or her?
Her. Sorry.
I haven't the faintest idea. Why wouldn't the dragon just eat them? That's what it normally does. But you notice that Istival kind of shoots you a look of sort of interest thing. Not like shut up. I mean, he just looks at you and is kind of like,
Smarter than I thought.
I'm more surprised that he's not stumbling on himself while he's actually talking.
It's been a while since I've had mead.
Oh, now the hangover. Oh.
He's gonna get kind of grumpy here in a bit.
Healing poison kind of sobers you up really
yeah, exactly. He was like, yeah, exactly.
I asked the Baroness if she has any more books or any information on the altar in her library or anywhere. Maybe some people know about it.
I don't have the faintest idea. I thought the altar was simply something positive to get rid of. It was really just taking up space, to be honest with you. I know that it was valuable for some reason, for my ancestors hundreds of years ago, but I bet my ancestors never had to deal with a black dragon invading their keep. No, I have no books or anything else about it. I can simply tell you that it was made of this blue coral. It was an impressive-looking altar, if you like that sort of thing.
You know where the coral was originated from?
Say again. Oh, do I know? The coral? I haven't the faintest idea. But actually, Zynal, you were able to know, without even doing a check, that an altar, all of you would pretty much know, an altar made of coral is not common. It's very difficult to work in coral. Like, it's not a common material for building.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely unusual, but she seems to have very little interest in it. But you know it's strange to have it that way.
Is there any ancestry books, anything on the ancestors, maybe some history?
Well, certainly I could try to find you one. Perhaps if you go down to the small library that I have at the bottom of the keep, I can certainly offer you food and drink and a warm fire and some simple cots to sleep in. But if you'll excuse me, I also have to attend to the repair of this keep. Are there any other questions? And she looks around at all
Thank
of
you thank you, Baroness.
Not
for-
at this
for that
time. Thank you.
And she
Yeah.
says, "Very well, Istival." She nods, and he says, he looks at her and he says, "Lady Crumb," and she walks away. And Istival sort of looks at all of you and says, "I think it's a good idea if we all got some rest. In the morning, though, I have some things to speak to you about. I think you may all have been onto something." And he looks in particular at Fing and at Zynol, and sort of nods in your general directions, and then he walks off, limps off, as he does.
This by the frickin' poofy night. I see
And
what's going on here.
and meanwhile the oh, I'm sorry, no, that's true. And Kate, I beg your pardon. Looks at the three of you, and
That'd
then
be
as he
funnier if he didn't actually.
yeah, it's like he ignores you. Yeah, no, he does. He's not like that. That's not how he rolls.
Okay.
And then as he walks off, you notice that the rest of the militia are kind of setting up the horses in the stables, and things like that. And you notice that Domdor and Zynol, you both notice that the keep remains in a state of operational readiness, as it were. I mean, there's guards and positions in the walls, not just in their typical sort of ready watch positions, but you can tell they're like actively scanning the swamp around the area. So obviously they're still concerned about, what's going on here. So it's going to be coming up to nighttime, and you guys can decide what it is you'd like to do for the evening before we get on to the next morning.
Our knowledge of languages includes reading and writing, or just spoken communication?
Knowledge of languages will generally deal with reading and writing as well, unless we're talking about magic, as inscribing, and that's a different deal.
What about Goblin? Just out of curiosity, because I happen to know it.
The thing about writing Goblin is there's
they
not
don't
a whole.
have- yeah.
It's not a very extensive literature.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. But I have common. I just want to know if it's gonna
Yeah.
work. Okie doke.
So what do you guys want to do? And also, I don't know. Do you want to, Domdor? Do you want to explain to them what you know about the Baroness, or do I? You guys can chat about what you want to do.
Yeah, while we're heading, to put our horses into the stable and stuff, I explain how the Baroness is quite a ruthless person, but she has a
Ruthless person.
Quite ruthless. Quite a
I
ruthless
like her.
person.
I like the way she thinks.
She's very
I have no
very
complaints.
strict.
Yep.
I've come across some of her soldiers, and some of them are quite disciplined. So she does tight, make them very very tight rank.
Runs a tight keep.
Yep.
The way it should be. Well, when you got a
And,
swamp castle like this, there's not much choice in the
And as
matter.
you can hear her when she said to stake them, you can see what she means by being ruthless.
Well, it serves as a warning. So let's find the seneschal or whoever the heck this castle is and get to that library.
So I will actually ask the soldiers what happened themselves, so I can get another perspective.
Okay.
I'll go and ask some of the local garrison soldiers.
Okay, so they, you notice that the garrison soldiers, as you're doing this, are not particularly forthcoming with information. They're very focused on their tasks. But go ahead and make a charisma check for me, Domdor. And I'm going to let you add 1 to the roll because you are you have this knowledge of.
Got a 2. Oh.
So you look at them and you're like, so come here often, and they sort of stare at you. They stare at you and they turn back to what they're doing.
A 1 and a 2. This is great.
Doesn't really go very well. But they definitely tell you that it was a tough fight, and then they sort of go back to what they're doing.
Sod, real quick. You notice you rolled 1d20 minus 1. It was supposed to be 1d20
because my charisma
plus
modifier is.
Oh, he's got a -1 charisma.
So
Holy crap.
wait, wouldn't it be
Okay.
0 if you had a +1 and a -1?
He might have a
technically
charisma.
No, it's alright. I have lore in military. So
No, it's not military lore
that-
though.
that's-
This
that's-
is
yeah,
about
it's
what
not
happened
military.
specifically.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, just wondering.
So, yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to seek out that library. I want to see if I can find anything on her ancestry.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So you and Cade, Zynol and Cade, go down to find the library, and you actually do. So you head down that way. Actually, as you guys are heading down, let me ask what. Let me ask why I can't find my damn character list. Let me ask what is Soleil and Genie and Fing doing while this is going on?
Is there a bar in town?
There's not a bar because it's a keep, but there is
yeah,
definitely a provisioner that can give you some meat, and you still got your water
I was
skins
about
filled
to
with
say,
meat.
is there an inn?
Yeah, not
That's
not a
yeah,
min.
That's short.
You got free food coming to you though.
So
Exactly.
where we like like bedding down for the night, I guess. Where's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so below the keep, there's actually
Sleeping quarters.
one of the guards actually brings you down to where you're going to be for the night, and it's kind of a large mead hall, or what looks like a mead hall, although there's no mead in it at the moment.
And
But
we've lost Fing.
I think
Um,
Pete needs a new pair of pants over
Tis
there.
one of the most depressing sights I've ever seen.
there's like there's some cooking fires, like some cauldrons over fires that clearly have burned out. You suspect that when the attack first happened, people were kind of like, let's, we have to go defend the keep and not eat. So, it looks like there was something maybe that was cooking, but it's kind of congealed. It's like the 2-day-old stew, you know what I mean, over the cooking fires. There's
That's when it gets good.
you see some crates that are piled up in the corners, and there's some long tables with benches. And then in the corner, or basically around the hall, are these separate little chambers, and in chambers just enough room for a bed, basically basically a bed and a chest at the foot of the bed is what's there. Very much military, sort of arrangement, but I mean, it's a bed. It's better than, lying on the grass. And you don't see anything that's, like, obviously consumable. But as the guard goes over, he sets you down on one of the benches, and then he brings over a crate, and he kind of, pulls it over and goes slam, and he like slams it on the ground. And you hear this, the table rattles, and he then he uses he actually lifts up one end of the crate. He has to pry it open a little bit with his armored gloves, and then he pulls it off, and then he pulls out a hunk of cheese and bread, and he puts the cheese and bread there, and then he takes this bottle of sort of amber liquid, which is sort of this large amber bottle. It's kind of like a thin top and then this large bottom, and he clanks it on the ground, and he sort of looks at you gruffly and nods and then leaves. And you notice there's a few empty goblets around, and now you have this cheese and this bread, and you got this amber liquid thing.
I need to see what is in this bottle. Let me open it up and smell it. What is it?
So as you open it and smell it, you definitely know something. Let's see. I'm going to give you a wisdom check, and I'm going to give you plus 15 on this roll.
Okie dokie.
Man, what did he do? What did he do with the clergy?
Yeah.
Plus 15 plus my bonus.
He's one of those monks that makes the beer in the monastery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
What's your bonus?
One day he slipped and fell in, and since then he's become an alcoholic.
And I got a 3.
Right.
Come on, man. Has it just been that long of a day?
You got a 3.
I feel like anything
21.
involving alcohol.
Well,
in this
even-
character
21
should be
total.
able to
Yeah,
make-
21. I was going to say, even with that, even with a 3, you were able to determine that this is a really horrific kind of beer that's called hog piss. It's basically like, I don't know if any of you guys know this. Again, I don't drink, so I'm just going to... There used to be, back in the day, there was a kind of beer called red, white, and blue, which
Oh,
you could
yeah.
basically... It was $5 for a case. So I just want to... I'm going to say that again. $5 for a case. You can guess how...
Schlitz, PBR.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Like
like
your
that.
dad.
You
Like,
you
make it
wonder...
live in a canoe.
There is a rumor that hog piss is actually involves some hog piss in the liquid somehow, but that's never been proven. Anyway,
It's extra frothy.
yeah, that's what this is. It's definitely alcoholic though, for no sure.
Best
It's
served warm.
alcohol there, yes. Yeah, and it's very warm. Have I mentioned that? Very warm.
Some salty undertones.
Yes. Hi, Lunar. What's up?
I sit. I contemplate.
I chug it.
I chug it.
Now, do you chug it direct from the bottle while everyone watches you, or what do
Available
you?
in a dark amber ale.
Better than him than me.
Oh, with mead so cheap, there's no need for glasses. We drink it right from
Okay,
the bottle.
so you're gonna try to. You're drinking the whole thing.
The whole damn thing.
All right.
No, he
So
can have it.
make a
Have it.
con check for me.
Oh, that headache.
God.
Make a
Corner
con
that
check
one
for me
pick.
at -2, please.
Corner is that way.
-2.
Yes.
God, -2. So that would even out. All right.
You have to sleep in here, by the way.
I
I'm just.
think he's about to take care of that.
Saving
Yeah.
for versus hangover.
And that is a 7. And that is
Right.
total 7.
So what you see is Fing is like. So actually, wait.
Wow.
So Fing's like. And he just, without a sound, he just slumps to the side and starts snoring. And you notice, and as you guys look, you notice that in this crate, now there's other crates stacked in the corner, but there's nothing, like he drank the whole bottle. There's no I mean, this must have been like 128 ounces. I don't know, like something ridiculous. Like it was like a double, you know.
I gather up the empty bottle.
So yeah, he just you gathered the empty bottle and there's no alcohol left. And
Luckily,
he's
we all have
definitely
our own mead to drink. Thank goodness.
Empty 128-ounce bottle.
And by the way, let me just actually I'll pause. We'll actually take, if you guys want, we'll take like a 5-minute break after we're set for the next morning. But I want to finish up these other guys. Okay, so now what are the two mages?
I'm gonna take like a 15-minute break here. So that
Oh, okay, we can do 15 minutes.
If I'm
That's fine.
out, I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so we can do 15 minutes is fine. But for the two mages, what are you just watched Fing slump over and snore. So what are you guys doing?
I would say from the moment we pretty much got in, got settled, got the lizards figured out, I would want to get to my room, get
Okay.
nice and quiet, and rest from the travel.
Okay, so you find your way into one of the rooms. They're all pretty much the same. It's a comfortable bed. It's definitely it's not like super soft, but it's it's not like breaking down, and it's clean and clean sheets and all that. It's
Do
even
we
got
at least have a table and candle?
It does not. If you open the chest, you find in there a candle, and there is a small table by the bed. Actually, you notice that there's even a pillow on this bed, so that's like practically luxury.
Score. Absolutely.
Okay, so you.
Yes, that's nice.
Okay, so you are heading off to bed to cogitate. Okay, now what about you,
I have a
Dejini?
very cautious character I'm playing.
I'm like mumbling in my sleep.
I'm
Oh no!
make way straight to my room and continue studying in my spell book and